Okay, we should be live. I feel like I should come up with a better catchphrase than that, you know? Like everybody when they start a stream is always like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And I'm just a boomer and I'm just trying to figure out if the audio works. Hopefully it does. Hopefully people can hear me right now. Switching it over here. So, hello. My name is Paul. Welcome to the Stormkeep. There were maybe some other people joining us tonight. We will find out. But together again with my good friend Eduardo, and there's Luis. Right on time.
Right in time to introduce yourself, Luis. Well, I'll start while you settle. So, hi, my name is Eduardo, and I am happy to be here again with you. Greetings from Mexico to you all, and we are excited to be talking Sigmar as usual.
Yeah, and you recently went 5-0 with Stormcast at a GT in Mexico, so pretty. Yeah, man. Congratulations again. That's a really good accomplishment.
Yeah, I was very happy because I didn't manage to win 5-0 before. I always went 4-1.
Yeah.
End up winning sometimes, but this time I was.
You just had to abandon those traitorous elves and go back to Stormcast.
Yeah. I was very happy to, because the list was exactly the opposite. A lot of movement, a lot of teleports, all about board control and being there when you need to be there.
Yeah, so, playing a low movement, no teleport army, which is basically every army except Stormcast, right? But playing one of those armies really makes you appreciate it, and you don't realize just how used to having teleports you are until you play an army. Like, I've been forcing myself to play Fyreslayers, and I'm trying to play more and more infantry, because, 20-inch move Maggotkin are cool, but it's not really limiting myself in the way that I want. Like, I want to struggle with 4-inch move infantry to really understand the pain and suffering of being a slow melee army.
With these short-legged guys.
Yeah. And also, hello, Luis. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm doing well. Everything goes well here.
Fantastic.
And excited to start our new recording with all of you.
Yeah. Well, we've got a new Battlescroll to talk about. I guess that's a good way to start it. What do you guys think of the Battlescroll overall? Was it what you wanted? Is it what you expected? Or did it fall short of your expectations in some way?
Well, I think that they went the minimum that they had to do, and they didn't want to go further. I wish that they had given us some other rules changes, battle tactic shifts, I don't know, something to keep the game interesting for another 6 months. But I think that they did just like the bare minimum that they had to.
Yeah, I would definitely, because they kind of set the expectation last year with the changes to special assignment and things like that. I kind of got the impression that, the December Battlescroll is going to be a bit like a midway change up, right? We've got more ideas. We've been testing. Okay, they're ready. Here you go. Here's something different. And it felt really good last year. So I'm kind of surprised we didn't have any changes to that system, especially given that 2 of the 6 battle tactics are pretty much unused by almost everyone. It's very, very rare to see like a Wrathful Cycles or Attuned to Gairan on the table. So it really just comes down to picking 2 of the top 4. And if your army's not set up to do Scouting Force, you're picking 2 of 3. And if your army doesn't want to do Intercept and Recover because you don't want to be punished for taking a double turn, there's 2, right? So it's pick 2 out of 2. Yeah. It's not a good system.
Yeah.
Well, in my perspective, was not a really good change. In fact, I can't call it as a change. I just saw a lot of good definitions about some rules, and some points are changing. Probably the good one could be Blades of Khorne.
Oh yes.
Probably this is the most important change in the 6 months about probably an army, but after this, I don't see anything else that could be really a change in the game.
Yeah, I can definitely see Khorne becoming a big threat, at least for 3 months. I don't know, like we've got a poll going right now in the chat, so if you're watching, I personally think Khorne is going to be at least A tier, which for us means like above average, but not overpowered. It's a strong army, but I don't know necessarily if it's going to be that powerful. It does seem to have a lot of really big strengths, and we'll talk about that, I guess, when we get to Khorne in particular. I think the biggest change out of this battle scroll is Kharadron getting hammered with rule nerfs. The once per turn army on 3 of their units, and they really only have like 4 units, so 3 of them getting limited in that way is a really, really big deal. And the builds that people are doing right now are not going to work anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how Kharadron pivots, and if they have anything to pivot to that's as good as they have it now. In the chat, sorry, just gonna answer a question here. I've been out for years in the Texas Masters. Is now a good time to come back in? How many years are we talking? 1, 2, 3? Did you play 3rd edition? Did you play the start of 4th edition? I think right now is a really good time to learn the game because the rules are really clear-cut and concise. There's no more issues with timing anymore. It's not like this ability happens at the start of the phase, and then this ability happens during the phase, and then this ability happens at the end of the phase. It's like there's no consistency. The rules are super clear-cut. So if you've played Age of Sigmar in past editions, you know what a problem that was. And I'd say that's the biggest improvement in 4th edition, is that the rules are really, really good.
Yeah.
Played at the start of 4th, only Stormcast, 16,000 point collection. Oh, that's... Hell yeah, dude. 16,000 points. Nice. So
have fun.
If you played the start of 4th edition, they have improved the game since then, I will say. The shooting rules, there's this new shooting mechanic called obscuring where you just can't be shot if you're standing near woods, and that's a really big deal. And despite that, Stormcast are still doing very well with teleport shooting units, so it's more fun, it's more interesting. Overall, I would say if you played in previous editions, I think the previous editions were more flavorful and crazy, and like there was just like really wild stuff happening, and you could definitely say, you could argue that it was more fun. Some people may prefer like a more balanced, slower paced, strategic game to be more fun. Not me. I want wild, wacky shit happening. Like I want crazy stuff. I want crazy combos. But the game is still fun, and ultimately it's all about the models and the friends you make while you're playing. You know, if you like Age of Sigmar as a game, as a concept, you like the people you play with, then yeah, it's a fun game. There's better competitive games to play, but it's a good hobby. So it's a good enough game. Yeah. Sorry. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I answered him in the chat almost exactly what you said.
Oh, great.
That the core rules are more polished and more easier to understand. So it's a good game, a good time to get back to the game. Mm-hmm. And somebody is saying here, the manifestations are no longer that oppressive, so that helps a lot as well.
Yeah, manifestations almost don't matter anymore. If anything, they feel like a liability because they're so fragile and their damage is so much lower. They since the last year, they changed every manifestation to hit on a 4+, and they changed them all to have a 6+ save. So they all just die to a stiff breeze, and they don't usually do a lot of damage. They can spike and go crazy, but it's pretty rare. And more often than not, all you're doing is you're giving your opponent stuff to charge at, and then they can use that to like wheel into your other units, because pylon range is 3 inches and combat range is 3 inches. Good players will just take advantage of the fact that you gave them something to charge at, and they'll jump into your lines. Yeah, they're a liability more than a benefit than they used to be. Still useful, like they're still good, but they're just not as good as they used to be.
Yeah, that's correct. They are not the heavyweight that they used to be 1 year ago, and definitely we have better mechanics that doesn't feel so oppressive for some armies, because Seraphon and Tzeentch and all the magic armies, they got a lot of buffs with this 1 year ago. But right now I feel that it's more equitative. I also feel that the game is really in the best in the best moment that I have seen probably the last 2 years. This is my perspective, but I feel also the game is really good. Is offering a good interaction between both players, even if you're not the active player. Also, is creating a lot of good interaction. Uh, I mean, in the way that you can flow in the game right now feels so good. In my perspective, it's the best moment to play Sigma, definitely.
Hmm. There's quite a lot of skill expression, that's for sure, and it
Yeah.
doesn't feel as mechanical as it used to because battle tactics can now be done. There's a lot more flexibility in when you do your battle tactics. You only have to score 6 of them over 5 turns, and 2 of them can be scored at once. So if you think about it, you just need 3 turns to score a full card, and you just need to fill 2 cards. Um, it's a lot easier to play mechanically. Double turns are still really strong. Like,
Yep.
if you don't prepare for them very appropriately, they will end the game. So if that was a reason you quit, then I'm sorry to say that's still a concern. All right, let's talk
Also,
about the Battlescroll. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
but also probably for the people that is playing in 40k, probably this is the best moment to try Sigmar because the similarity between both systems is really good. Obviously, if we see in detail some changes between Sigmar and also 40k, and also even the comparison between third edition and 40th edition, I could say that currently Sigmar is so so similar to 40k as before. I have never seen the equivalency right now. Obviously, we have different changes and different shaders, I say, but beyond that, I suppose that is the best moment. You will find a lot of fun in Sigmar. I don't see any reason to don't start or to don't try starting in Sigmar right now. Sorry.
Yeah, the game's also really balanced. It is like shockingly well balanced. There's only I don't know if any army is overpowered right now. Like I don't know, maybe Khorne. That might be like the standout, but that could just be like a knee jerk reaction to going from maybe the worst army to like a good army, right? So maybe they overshot it, but there's only like 2 bad armies right now, and one of them is the Sons of Behemat, who are always bad. So that's not really a surprise to anyone. Like if you're playing that army, you're not playing it to win tournaments unless you're Bear, and in which case Godspeed. But Sons of Behemat's like a fun army, right? Like it's not you don't buy the army expecting to go 5-0 at GTs. At least I hope you don't. Yeah, but Helsmiths are the other one that are pretty bad, and I think they need a significant boost. But they're a new army, so you can kind of cut them some slack. It's their first time designing rules for the models, and if they end up underperforming, there's a lot of room to adjust it. So, if you care about balance, now is a good time to play AOS. Personally, I don't care about balance.
Yeah.
I don't care if the game is balanced. I just want it to be fun. If the game is fun, I will play it no matter how unbalanced it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even if our army is the weakest in the game, I suppose if you love your models, if you love the way that you are playing, the mechanics that you have, it doesn't matter at the end if you are not good in the win rate. Is to get fun. This is the main reason for the people playing in Sigmar is getting fun, and second is enjoying with the friends. So obviously we have the competitive side, but beyond that, I don't feel right now we have a big jump like we had probably 6 months ago at the beginning of this season of these generals. I feel right now that we have good chances, even outside of those armies that you mentioned. I feel that we have a good chances to win even against the strongest army. So I feel
Hmm?
a good moment. Yeah.
I mean, we might be the strongest army. There's certainly an argument that Stormcast are the best.
We are.
Definitely no bias here. Never. Okay, so let's talk about the rule changes, and then we'll talk, big picture, and then we'll go into Stormcast, and then we'll finish it off by doing a tier list of the predicted metagame, and then it's always fun to look back on how wrong we were on those. Like, we totally undervalued Gitz last time, but I remember saying, like, without the chariot, it's that tier of an army. With the chariot, I don't know. It's hard to predict. But anyway, rule changes. First up, obscuring no longer affects war machines, because a certain senior game designer at World Championship noticed all the cauldrons and bells and everything, and Glutos, and especially Glutos, hiding in the woods, even though the enemy, like, the woods are behind them, and then there's an enemy in front of, and there's a huge model, and he's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we're going to do something about that. And he did. So obscuring no longer affects war machine keyword units. That
They were not even hiding in the obscuring in the
No.
woods. They were hiding in a little bit rock, which was a place of power, which was like a third the size of the base of the Glutos, and he
Yeah.
was hiding there
it was a crate.
and tagging the objective on the other side.
Yeah, it's so wild. I'm very happy to see that. I don't think that's a big enough nerf to Slaanesh, frankly. And if you look down at the bottom here, you can see Slaanesh gets the Avoided Nerfs award, because I don't know how that army keeps avoiding getting nerfed. They keep getting buffed somehow. I don't know. But yeah, Glutos can be shot. Cauldrons can be shot. Skaven bells can be shot. It's a brand new world for long strikes. They just have more and more targets. Every Battlescroll nerfs them, but every Battlescroll makes them stronger in the end.
I was going to say that the Raptors are back.
But yeah, they never left.
Yeah, but they are back hard.
Yep. It is unfortunate that... Go ahead.
Yeah, the invitation to include elite shooting against in the roster is increasing, so that's good, because it's not offering the same system as 2 or 3 months ago, where the shooting practically was null, and right now we are start seeing once again this elite shooting. I mean, we are talking about Tzeentch that is bringing also some kind of shootings, also another armies that, well, we can mention a lot of armies, but right now I feel that the shooting is taking once again the good position as should be in this system.
Yeah, and if unless you're an army with all flying models like Kharadron and Nighthaunt, you have a lot of counterplay to shooting as well, which feels really good.
Yep. Sometimes I feel that it's too much, but it's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it feels too much, and then sometimes not enough, right? Like, I don't know, but
because I think that the obscuring should work only for the round, which you get it or something, because the rest of the battle, eventually you just get the whole board obscured, and it's like, okay, I'll just jump from here to here.
Yeah, I want to do like a post-mortem video on obscuring as a mechanic, but we can do that sometime in the new year as we get closer to the next General's Handbook. All right, next rule change. Sorry, go on.
If the next Generals doesn't include again the obscuring.
They could still change it. Like, any day they could still make a change to it. They don't have to wait for a battle scroll. They could just, next week put out an errata if they really wanted to.
Yeah, probably. I hope so.
Okay, Seraphon and Slaanesh. They used to revive units by rolling a 4+. I think Nurgle does this too. Doesn't Nurgle also do it on a 4+ currently? But they're getting a new book, so it doesn't matter, right? Like, that's about to change. And the Slann Starmaster and the Keeper of Secrets, they were the revival for that army. You have to pay the tax if you want access to revive. Slaanesh revives only demons, obviously, and Seraphon revives any unit with 3 or more models, which I don't think there's any unit in that army with 2 models, so I'm not sure why that restriction is 3 instead of 2, but whatever. Yeah, instead of having to roll a 4+, which was incredibly frustrating to play with and against, because if you were playing with it, you had to assume it never happened, because if you assumed it did and you were relying on it, you would just lose, right? Because as soon as, like on a coin flip, it's terrible. And your opponent had to assume it did happen, because if you assumed it wouldn't happen, then they would win the coin flip and then you would lose. So it was a bad mechanic all around to tie that much power to a single dice roll, considering we already have the double turn in this game, which is like the biggest dice roll of all. Like, that's such an incredibly important dice roll, warps how everyone plays. Adding that much more randomness is just not a good idea. Now, instead, you pay a command point, just like Gitz, just like Stormcast, just like Skaven, just like every other army now. Flesh Eaters, everybody just pays a command point to revive a unit. Beautiful. Works perfectly. There's counterplay because you can kill the Star Master. You can very easily kill the Keeper of Secrets because he can be shot at all times. So I don't think this is going to be a massive deal for Slaanesh. I think Slaanesh demons are not going to be that good. Like, recursion on them will be fine because it's always balanced out by just the Keeper being a big target. But Seraphon summoning is that's gonna suck, huh? How many times have you guys played against lists with like 12 or 18 Agrodons yet? Like, have you played against those in this edition?
Yeah.
It takes a long time to kill that much stuff, and then half of it comes back to life guaranteed now.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, every 6 Agrodons you add to your list is really 9 Agrodons. It is a pain in the butt. I really, So, watch out for Seraphon. I think they will be very good right now.
Yeah, and they deserve it because I haven't seen his performance of Seraphon like we have seen in the last 6 months. Obviously, we have good and bad moments, but no beyond that 2 or 3 months. And right now, they are breathing again with the change. I don't think that this will be good enough, but for sure it's a help for this army that needs a little bit of love.
Oh, rip Dark Oath, still recurring on a 3+. I think everyone has forgotten that Dark Oath exists, because Warhammer Fantasy got new Marauder models, so everyone just went to go play that game instead. I've never actually seen anyone with a Dark Oath list in 4th edition.
They're good for complementing the expensive stuff, like if you bring the Barangard, the Chosen, and whatever, you just squish some points there from Dark Oath.
Yeah,
they help you with.
They're like a screen tactic chaff. Yeah, the whole army is just chaff, though. It's really sad. Yeah. There's fast chaff and there's cheap chaff, and that's it. Yeah. It's not good. Nighthaunt, they now just do mortal damage once per turn army with the Pyrogeist. So even if you still bring 8 units of them, at least you're not taking 8d3 mortal wounds, because one model at the very edge of the unit is touching an objective, and you're 6 inches away from the other end of the unit, which was very frustrating.
Yeah, and you're reducing your control more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so thankfully that's not a thing anymore. It's just once per turn army. I don't know what Nighthaunt are going to pivot into. That is a very flawed army. And Pyrogeist also went up 20 points, which was necessary for sure. I was thinking put them up to like 180, 190 and keep the mortal damage, but I guess spammable mortal damage is not a good thing. Tune in next week for our Annihilator Mortal Wound spam video. We're doing Comet Fall again, boys. It's happening. Kharadron, they got a whole bunch of nerfs. Thunderers, their ability to deal mortal wounds, and then I think Retreat, right? Yeah. That ability once per turn army, so you can't just spam Thunderers anymore. Harpooners used to be able to send every single unit 2d6 inches in the combat phase, way past your lines. Created tons of mobility. When you brought 3 or 4 units of them, it was incredibly hard to predict where they were all going to go, especially because they move 12 inches. They can also come off the boats as well. It was a real pain. And Salvagers, this is the biggest one, I think. Like, the Harpooners were annoying, especially like in the AOR where they got double move, so they could move 24 inches and then do 2d6 charge and then 2d6 flyover move after charging. That was annoying. Yeah. That's been gutted, because instead of doubling move, it's now run and charge. Not run and shoot, just run and charge. So that's a huge nerf to them. But Salvagers... Sorry, go on.
We made a mistake. It's not the Thunderers, it's the Sky Wardens.
Oh, it's the Sky Wardens. Sorry. Typo there. My bad. Yeah, and then Salvagers, this is the big one. This is the one that gave you +1 hit if you were on an objective. Now, that being nerfed to once per turn army is an especially big deal because it's a single dice roll on a 3+. to get army-wide +1 hit. And I don't recall off the top of my head if there's any other source of +1 hit in Kharadron to spread around like that in combat. So if they're losing a huge amount of accuracy now, because they would just bring multiple units and like, oh, 3 up, I didn't get it. Okay, here's another 3 up. Oh, here's another 3 up. Like, it was not uncommon to bring 2 or 3 units of salvagers just to spam that effect. So that's a big deal. The fact that they can only do it on one objective and it can fail, yeah, these are huge nerfs to Kharadron, and then they also got point increases on top of that. I think it may have been too much. And I think they may have nerfed the army too much, but we will find out. Speaking of being nerfed too much, Gitz chariots have not been nerfed too much. They got off easy as far as I'm concerned.
They are dead.
They're dead, yes, but they should be deader.
Yeah.
Because now Gitz chariots can only move on your turn if they are in combat. So this ability now does what their intent was that if you're stuck in combat, it lets you get out and then charge in again. The whole idea was that they were doing like drive-bys. They would smash into you and then leave. And the tactical play of Gitz is over because Gitz chariots have to survive a whole turn in combat, and they're not going to be just spamming mortal wounds. Their damage output is going to be a lot lower. And on top of that, Gitz also got a bunch of point increases as well. So Gitz is really hurting now, I think. I'm not sure what the pivot's going to be.
They're gonna go the list that I play against in the last tournament in the final. I think that it was good. Which was a mixer of the trolls with the squigs.
Yeah.
So it was okay. I think it's not that bad. So
really, even without chariots?
Yeah, even without chariots. Mm-hmm. 2 reinforced units of Strogoths and 3 reinforced units of hoppers. I think they are.
The bounders, the lance guys riding them.
Somebody which
those
mortal wounds.
Those guys went up, I think, 10 points a unit, so 20 points because they're always reinforced. You never run them MSU, so 20 points a unit on that is rough.
Where did
Doomdiver Catapult went up. So the chariot still went up. I think the rule change was enough. I didn't think their points had to go up as well, but maybe it was just like an efficiency thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, KO players headed to 40k. Yeah. It's like this is probably the end of an edition, like the narrative campaign leading to a new edition. That's always the most fun time to play a game because it's like everything is settled. You more or less know the way the game is playing, especially because I saw the data slate was like very minor changes all the way throughout. So it's like the game is reasonably well balanced. People are having fun with it. Now let's introduce a whole bunch of wacky, crazy stuff. And we're not going to be able to fix it in time, so the game's going to be just absurd. I love it. It's such a fun time to play the game. I'm probably going to jump in with some destroyer nonsense when 500 Worlds starts.
It's the squeak hoppers, the ones that...
Hoppers. Okay, so it's not the bounders.
No.
Okay, so yeah, if you think that list is good, I don't know. I think the chariots were just carrying that army completely. Gitz were like 100% chariots.
Yeah, they have been hit, no doubt. But I think that they can pivot into that and they will do okay. They will not be like top, but they will do okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like, I'm thinking like a low B tier, maybe even high C. Like, I think they're going to struggle. They really will.
Well, I don't think so. I don't know if this change is good enough to nerf them. I hope. Well, it's killing the bad rule in the chariots, but right now I don't think that it will be dying or falling so drastically. I think that it will remain in A, probably A minus or BA, whatever. But I don't see them falling so hard.
And I do not see Gitz as an A-tier army at all. Like, we'll talk about it when we get to the tier list.
Yeah.
We can debate that. We've got 3 of us, so we can have a tiebreaker vote. Okay, yeah. Khorne has been redesigned. I remember on our Realm report. Go ahead.
I want to make a precision because the chariots will use their ability in either turn only if they're in combat.
Yes.
So even in the Gitz turn, they cannot use the ability unless they are in
Correct.
combat first.
Correct. So
that means that they will move normally, they will charge, and then maybe if they survive, then on their next move they will get to use it.
correct.
And maybe in yours.
So like
So
they have
it's
to charge something
super bad
that's tough enough to survive them, but not strong enough to kill them,
to kill them.
which is not very good. That's like a screen, and it's like
And they don't
yeah.
they don't have enough damage to really kill some stuff. So
Yeah, without the
Maybe this will
mortals,
change.
because what they would do before was they would move in
Yeah.
the movement phase, do mortals, and then in your turn, oh, you didn't retreat, or you did retreat. Like, it doesn't matter. I have a 12-inch move. I'm gonna do mortals to you again, right? So even if you charge me, I've still done 2 rounds of mortal wounds.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah, but I don't know. Right now, well, in the past they were playing this reinforced unit.
Before they were playing it as a reinforced unit. Before the September errata that made it usable in any turn, I think Gitz was like one of the weaker armies in the game. I think they were like a C tier army. And now they've been nerfed from that position. And the chariots are arguably even worse than they were before, because chariots at least before could do that move in your turn. So you could like be aggressive, and if you were out of combat, you could do that move and do some mortal wounds and then charge in. So like their damage output has dropped, which is not good.
and they were the perfect screens because they would screen you out. So it was
super
a very
wide
big
screen.
block of
Yeah.
stuff. You could not go beyond 3 inches with them, and then they will just move away, and you could not charge anything.
Yeah.
So there was an stupid screen.
Yeah, I don't know if Gitz has enough left in the tank with chariots off the table. It's not going to be like a trash tier army. Like, they're not going to be as bad as like Sons of Behemat or Helsmiths or anything, but they're not going to be I'm not going to be concerned about them when I build lists anymore.
Yeah.
Because
Probably.
the strong units are trogs and bounders. Bounders fly, which means they just get shot. So I'm not worried about them. And trogs are slow. So I'm not worried about them either. Like, slow melee units are not viable.
I think they will be like
Because,
because they bring a lot of
my
stuff.
point is, so go ahead.
Sorry. So the hoppers were like 40 wounds. So even if I could shoot at them, they would not die. And you got in combat with them. You need a lot of damage to kill them, and the Trogots are ahead, coming after you. So they are also hard to chew. So they have some play. I don't think they are that bad, but they really got a nerf. Yeah, for sure.
But well, and about my point right now, if the chariots are not being played as a reinforcement, and I mean, instead of that as a MSU, probably they could keep doing dirty things, because with 2 chariots you are not able to kill to the opponent. So this is something that we need. But probably they will be erased if they are charging to against a hammer or something like that. So I think the Gitz players will find a way to keep doing dirty things with this kind of units. I don't think that is completely
I'd
dead.
love to see it. I would. I remain skeptical for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so let's talk about Khorne. That's the big exciting thing from this Battlescroll, which I wish the Battlescroll was more exciting, but at least we got this, because Khorne Battletome came out, and everybody immediately jumped on the Army of Renown, if you guys remember, and then everybody ignored how bad the regular book was, because the Army of Renown was so blatantly overpowered and hilarious and stupid, and everybody just ignored the book, and then they nerfed the AOR, and everyone was like, well, what do we actually do now? I guess we'll play 5 Bloodthirsters, or whatever. And it was like, okay, is that a good list? No. I mean, it's fun. If you're good, you can somebody won a GT, or somebody did go 5-0 with it. I don't know if they won the GT. Somebody went 5-0 with it, so it's good enough to do that, at least. But it just gets shot by everyone all the time. So not ideal that the best list in the Khorne army, which is like a huge range, the best list ended up being 1 kit spammed 5 times. That's not good. So they went back to the drawing board and they said, well, we need to make a rules change. Thankfully, they made a rules change, because if they just... Khorne is already like tons and tons of models. If you play the mortal side, you can end up with a absolute horde of garbage units, with Blood Reavers being cheapest chips and them being 10 models, Claws of Karanak being cheap, Blood Warriors come in packs of 10. There's just so many bodies you can put on the board with Khorne, and I'm really glad they didn't go overboard with the point changes. Like, I'm glad they didn't fix them with points like we've seen so many other times. Beasts of Chaos come to mind when they fixed them with points and they just kept reducing the points over and over. Kruleboyz, they reduced their points over and over and over, and eventually they just became overpowered. Khorne was better. They fixed the core issue with the army was that the Blood Tithe and the Blood Drenched were pulling you in two different directions. Blood Drenched wanted you to kill half the units on the table, which meant you wanted as few units in your list as possible to reduce that number so you could get your bonuses. But then Blood Tithe wanted you to just kill the most amount of units as possible, which meant, okay, well, now I want cheap disposable units in my army that I can sacrifice basically to get Tithe. These two things were in conflict. Now, they work together. They synergize. They harmonize. And Blood Drenched is now a reaction to unlocking a Tithe ability. And for the rest of the game, you pick a unit, and that unit has the Blood Drenched buff. So that unit can't use all-out defense, but it can get... Usually it's going to be crit mortals, right? That's usually the thing that you're going to get from it. The Bloodthirsters get +1 damage. The Lesser Demons get +1 rend, which... It's okay. You already have crit mortals, so you don't really need more rend. But crit mortals on the Bloodbound units, that's the juicy one, because Skull Reapers lost their native crit mortals going into this new book, and Blood Warriors love crit mortals because they're a high volume attacker. So both of those units having access to crit mortals on demand, more or less, because it's really easy to unlock one or two Tithe abilities early on. Like, usually round 1, you're going to unlock one of your Tithe abilities. Round 2, you're going to unlock another one. And then round 3, you've probably got the ones you care about. And their Tithe abilities are so good. Shutting off all weapon abilities except Companion is incredibly strong. It just bullies other armies out of the game. Like, imagine Slaves to Darkness without crit mortals. If Chosen don't have crit mortals, they just bounce off a 3-up save. They do nothing. Imagine Prosecutors without charge +1 damage. Literally half the damage from Prosecutors. They're now just a trash unit. Imagine no crit auto wound from Nighthaunt, and they're wounding on 4s. Like, that's just, it's over, right? Like, that army just sucks now.
That's very rough.
It's a very strong ability. And they also just have an army-wide -1 hit ability. So, against shooting. I should clarify, against shooting. So they can take advantage of obscuring. They have a lot of really good tools in their book that have been overlooked because everybody's just been playing Bloodthirsters and nobody's been paying attention to the fact that you can move, run in charge, move another d6, and then have a murder-lusted 3d6 drop 1 charge. Like, they are surprisingly mobile for a 5-inch move army, and I really like that. And I think Khorne is going to be really, really, really good. Maybe too good. Looking at the poll real quick, it looks like most people are saying they're going to be above average, which I think they're going to be like an A, maybe A+ army. I'm not sure. It's hard to predict how strong they will be, but like, just looking at the matchups, how many armies rely on charge +1 damage? How many armies rely on crit mortals? How many armies rely on anti-infantry, anti-cavalry? You know, like, and this is a 3+ save army, so shutting off anti-infantry is a big, big deal.
Yeah. Even if they are not, if Khorne doesn't have right now a big range of units, they have a lot of possibilities because they can turn off, they can be so defensive, but they can be also so offensive with this new change. I can see that that you can pick in your roster the Skull Reapers that right now will have once again the mortal wounds, because each one is creating 4 attacks. So that volumes once again with mortal wounds will be really, really juicy. But also the Skull Crushers defending A2, not avoiding, they are saving A2s and also using Holo defense. You will have the perfect anvil and the perfect hammer. So there are a lot of combinations that you can do with all the units, even if they don't have the biggest range of units, but they will have good and interesting things. So yeah, I am as a player of Khorne, I am excited. I think that this is the perfect moment to return and to see how we can improve the current win rate because they need it also.
Yeah, I think you can actually just start a list with something like 2 units of Blood Reavers and 2 units of Claws of Karanak or Fleshhounds, or like just bring 4 screens, and that'll give you enough tithe to unlock the first rank and then unlock the second rank as well. So you just throw all those units forward. You don't take any real engagements. You just score VP early on, and then your next 2 engagements are like with all of your super buffs active, which feels so good. That's such a good like flavor thing for Khorne. I love it that they're just throwing these like disposable units out, drenching the battlefield with their blood, and then powering up from that. God, it feels awesome. They nailed that change.
Yeah, they're running and charging and taking the best 2 dice. So I suppose that we will have good matches against.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do
against
fine. Like
okay.
Stormcast always do
Yeah.
well into Khorne.
Yeah.
We're just the alpha predator.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can just fall back into the edge of the battlefield and we don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're running your 5 plus 2d6 plus 2d6. Okay, I'm still outside that, and I'm still threatening you.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna teleport everything where I want it to be.
Yeah. So it's gonna be good. Okay, let's talk losers, winners, and maybe people who should have been nerfed. So the losers are definitely, I mean, these are the usual suspects that we've been talking about for the last 6 months. Cities of Sigmar, they got nerfed in a way I wasn't expecting. I was expecting the Cavaliers to go up because we're seeing lists that legit bring 30, 40 Cavaliers. And 160 points for those guys is criminal when you consider a fair unit like Stormstrike Paladors. Not great, not bad. That unit is 190. It's 30 points more, and it's also a 3+ save unit with 15 health. Similar enough damage output. Sorry?
And you don't have that many buffs into them. As
Yeah,
the
that's
Cavaliers.
right. Yeah, we don't have the
They get a
3d6
lot of
charging buff that Cities has.
And you don't have the +1 to save and the strike first once per battle, so it gets
and the reliable 5
count as your
aboard.
charge. Yeah, so they get pretty nasty. Yes.
Yeah.
They got a buff. Cities got a buff that nobody's talking about.
What's that?
The Senestra.
Oh yeah.
The prayer from Senestra, they changed it again. So they got it back into the way that it was, but now you can only select 1 unit. So you can use it now in both turns as well. And you get the reroll again. Yeah, everybody missed that.
Yeah, correct.
I totally missed that. Yeah, let's take a look real quick here.
It goes back into the way it was, but you cannot you can only select 1 unit now to teleport. So it's better.
It also has to be a human unit, right? Do the cannons have human keyword?
Yep, they have.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh man, okay. Cities is definitely looking very good. I mean, they got nerfed, but they're still going to be really good, I think. So I didn't even realize that changed. That's good.
Yeah, it's a good change because you can send the horses, do the strike first, get super buffed into the charge, and when they are going to wipe them, you teleport them away.
Mm-hmm. Reliably, considering you can re-roll it too.
Yep.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also you can escalate the canyons. You don't need probably the 3, but you can manage 2 canyons, just forwarding, taking the center with 1, in the other covering the 2 other units, and then you are teleporting 1, and then advancing with the other one. So you can, obviously, it's not the same danger feeling when Senestra can move, could move 3 units of canyons.
Yeah, that was
but right now, moving 1 in the opponent's face, I suppose is a stroke.
I also really hate. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, with our players with translocation, we can do it, but that involves a cost in retail points.
Yeah.
With Senestra is also, but she is level 2. So there's no a big effort to get the 4 ritual points to move to the
Yeah,
unit. So
she gets to do a
She's a
prayer
level
and bank points, and she gets to reroll ones on that
right.
super prayer. So I also really
Exactly.
hate the hallowed ground ability, not being able to finish a move within 5 inches. It's like, okay, so then you redeploy back, right? It's like, so
Yeah,
your charge
yeah,
is now
yeah.
at least like instead of a minimum 3, it's minimum 5 plus d6, which is a big difference. Like it's really annoying to play against. That one's really underrated.
Yep.
All right, well,
Yeah, and also they have the mechanic when another hero, where if you are rolling 3, 2, or 1, you can get an auto
auto
redeploy of
redeploy of
4.
4, yeah. Yep. So
Yeah,
your charge
so
is minimum
that's
9. Minimum
But
9
I think
inches.
Sinestro might be
exactly.
back. Yep.
Awful.
I think Sinestro might be back because of this.
I think so too. One unit was all you needed, really. You don't need 3 different units. And also, you don't have
The
to
other
pick
one was absurd.
you don't have to pick visible units. They can be anywhere on the board behind walls. It's
Yep.
so annoying.
Yeah. It's so delicious.
Talia.
All right.
Talia hit something and then take them back.
Well, they had the
Exactly.
foresight to increase the cost of like lots of staples, right? Warforger, Callous and Toll, the guy writing the Ogre, Command Core, Ironworld Cannon, they all went up. So like City's list typically went up, I would say like 60, 70 points. Like the ones that were, it should have been more. Like Cavaliers are way too cheap. They should have added a 10 or 20 point to that unit. But I guess, yeah, I guess we just have a lot of 3-up save, 5-up ward, teleporting cavalry to deal with in this new meta.
Yeah.
Fun. Fyreslayers got nuked, like, completely. Like, those are brutal nerfs. I don't... their win rate wasn't that high. I know I listed them as, like, one of the top armies to beat. They didn't deserve this. This is, like, such a hammering. They nerfed... like, every Magmadroth got nerfed. Why not just nerf the artifacts and the battle formation instead of just nerfing the raw? Well, yeah, they did, but like nerf them more, right? Like it's okay to have a battle formation cost 60 points. Like there's nothing that says you can't do that. So why increase the base cost of these units? Because like let's say you're using these units without the +2 health and without the +1 hit. Are they worth that cost? Like is a Rune Smiter on Magmadroth worth 300 points unless you have those other two things? Probably not. So yeah.
How about they pivot into a mixed thing with Magmadroths and infantry? Because I think the infantry is very cheap, so you could play the board control and then suddenly appear with 2 or 3 Magmadroths and hit something super hard.
Oh yeah. Like I think that was the best way, in my opinion, to play Fyreslayers before. It was 2 Magmadroths and all infantry. But these are significant nerfs even to that list, especially because that list loved using the Kharadron Profiteers. So that's another 30-point tax right there. It's getting hard to be a Fyreslayer out here, especially because if any of these seasonal rules go away, this army is dead. If this army doesn't have the soggy Sun on Magmadroth, if they don't have the double move prayer, it is just gone. It's out of this game. Nobody will want to play it. It'll go back to being like a 0 play rate army. Magmadroths are fun too. Like it's fun to move 10 inches. It's not fun to have a whole army of 4-inch move. So hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't just get rid of all the soggy stuff.
I hope, because to be honest, soggy profiles has been the pepper in this stage. So we need an alternative. I think after to leaving these alternative war schools, we will need more.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they're gonna leave the war scrolls, the most popular ones. So I'm not expecting the Magmadroth's war scrolls to go away, the soggy ones.
No, we are talking about games workshop.
Yeah, they could screw it up. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest bonehead move they could do is get rid of the new Iridan. Iridan went from the worst designed model to maybe the best designed model. So if they get rid of that, that would be a crime.
We'll
report them to the UK police.
Yeah. Crossing fingers.
Okay, so Kharadron?
Yeah, Kharadron. They got nerfed a lot as well. And I think these nerfs were warranted. Like the rule changes were warranted because I think Margant called this, and I didn't quite see it when he called it earlier in our live streams. But people were spamming harpoons and salvagers because they were so cheap. Like 110 points per unit, 220 for a reinforced unit was so little. And like when you combine their shooting and their melee, they start to become a real threat. Just tons of dice.
Yep.
And it's all split out across multiple activations, so you can't even all out defense against it properly. You can't create like a nice wall scenario. So it was tough to deal with, and I think these once per turn army things are the right changes, because I think Kharadron can't be a super elite army anymore. It used to be in 3rd edition, but now that it has actual 5 model units that are good, it can't be that super elite army. So you can't just keep increasing the cost of their units to balance Kharadron. I think this is the right move. But it's going to hurt for a little while until they can figure out just what they need to pivot into. I've seen some discussion about the soggy gun haulers maybe being able to just, you know, book it 20 inches and then move back after, like they can do kind of like a jump, shoot, jump kind of thing. I don't know if they're as good as the regular gun haulers. I think you have to do like a mixed army kind of thing with Kharadron. You have to bring a little bit of everything. You need some Thunderers, some Sky Wardens, some Riggers, some Harpooners, some Salvagers. I think that's kind of the way they want you to do it now.
Yeah, they want us to do that in most armies, because with the few amount of units that we have in our armies, they are like treating spam. When you have 3 units, it's like spam. So they are trying for us to bring a different units. For me, that's better because of the hobby part. That you don't have to buy a lot of the same stuff. But,
yeah.
But yeah, it seems in some armies it seems a little bit rough.
And especially because they, to be honest, probably I was jealous, but they had really good mechanics. The things that they was doing that carry on some units, then shooting, then charging, then strike first. That feels like a little oppressive in against some armies, because not all the armies has the resistance, the resilience to resist and a continuous attack like this, and also with the power shooting that they have. So I happy with some nerfs, but with all the nerfs that they received, I suppose that they are now in the opposite side. They are probably, to me, they are falling between B and C in the tier.
I think B is where they'll land. I don't think they're going to be weak enough to be a C tier army. I don't think so. Like a B, somewhere in B. It's hard to predict if it's going to be minus or plus, but I don't think they're going to be A tier anymore.
There's not going to be many C tier armies. I think it's fairly balanced, the game right now.
Yeah, that's true. There's no D tier army. Well, no. Maybe Helsmiths. Maybe Helsmiths and Gargants might be the only D tier armies.
Yeah, probably.
Lady Robot. Anyway,
I suppose that
Lady Robot in the chat says KO server seems to be mostly on Arcanaut spam and Ironclad Castle. Oh man, that's sad. That's so sad. If you're resorting to using Arcanauts, that's not great. What's up, David? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, y'all?
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, man.
Of course. Where are we at?
We're talking Kharadron Overlords, how they may have been over-nerfed, and they might end up being too weak now.
Nah, y'all deserve it.
Your favorite.
They deserve it.
Your favorite topic right now.
I'm happy to see it, because I wanted to start a Kharadron army this year, and I did. I have a bunch of models, but I didn't want to build it because it was so strong. I didn't want to seem like a flavor of the month hopper kind of person. I guess I'm not. I've been playing Stormcast for like 10 years. There's no way. But Kharadron were so good, I didn't want to build it. I wanted to wait for them to get nerfed so I could have like a bit of a hipster vibe when I play. You know, like, oh, I played it after it was good. You know. Okay, Nighthaunt. Nighthaunt were really nerfed. Because every Nighthaunt player, competitively, almost every Nighthaunt player, was just spamming Pyregeist. That was the whole army. It was like Battle Tome Pyregeist. It was just
They were so efficient.
yeah. And it just has to be said again and again and again that the reason people were spamming Pyregeists was because you got 8 models for 150 points, which had the same stat profile as every other infantry model in the army,
which
were
200
210 points for 10 models. So it's like you don't even have to compare the damage numbers or anything, just in terms of raw health, which is a huge consideration. It's just 8 models for 150 or 10 models for 210. Obviously, you're going to take and they're it's the same move. Everything's the same. Like everything is almost the same.
Doesn't care about damage, so you don't do damage. So why take other thing that is most efficient? So
yeah,
that is what is going to happen with this book for the rest of the edition. Because it relies only on surviving. So the most efficient units, you will see them in the table, and when they are doing good, they are gonna nerf them, and it's gonna be a never-ending story.
I think the problem isn't necessarily the units themselves. I think it might just be the heroes. Like the heroes don't do interesting enough things with each unit. Like because I think about Stormcast, like think about the Lord Terminos, right? The Lord Terminos has a very specifically defined niche, right? And when you see the Lord Terminos, when you put him in your list, you're like, okay, he is a situational unit. I can't just splash him into any list, but when I put him in a list, he feels good. Nighthaunt have a bunch of heroes that just do nothing. They don't interact with any unit in their army in any meaningful way, and they just sit there and do nothing. And Stormcast has a couple of those, not many anymore, but at least like a lot of our heroes have some purpose. Even if it's not good, at least it's some purpose. Nighthaunt heroes, a lot of them just have no purpose. They're just beat sticks.
Well, the Kruleboyz increases the durability of the army, and Lady Oid's just very durable by himself, and it gives you the casts to bring models back and do movement stuff. So yeah, they don't do much.
Yeah, but like Knight of Shrouds, he could do something interesting. Lord Executioner could do something interesting. Like what if the Lord Executioner, I don't know, had something cool to do with the Bladegeist Revenants? What if this was a 2-unit combo, so you bring these two together, and then it made the Grimghast the Grimghast Reapers better than if you were to just take them on their own? What a crazy concept that a hero has a buff for a unit, especially in a death army of all things, which are very well known for that exact concept. It's just like the whole book is just undercooked. It needed another like 3 months of design and then some playtesting, but it just came out too soon.
It's a worse book, in my opinion.
Yeah. And not because the lack of mechanics. I mean, it's because it's simply boring. That's the topic. I don't know how people just want to set your army in the field and just waiting for the 5 rounds.
Yeah,
and that's it. I don't see.
It's not exciting.
Be excited. Exactly.
No.
It's not exciting facing a Nighthaunt at this moment.
I agree with Lady Robot statement that they said that the Sagi Coach is a great unit for the army that Nighthaunt wishes they were.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it sucks now, but they can start reducing points. Like if the army gets too weak and they start reducing points, it could become interesting. Like it's the kind of army where if you have a critical mass of bodies, you start to do a lot better.
Oh yeah. The book, it's strong. They endure a lot, but it is very boring and it is very badly written. So as you said, the heroes do nothing. Rakenor is like useless anymore. The Drowner, it's useless because all the army can teleport. Why would you bring that guy? It doesn't make any point. So you don't have any other playstyle but to stand there and just hold stuff. So that is the problem. That it's just gonna be a matter of points, and when they have good points, they will just hold the ground and do well. And when they don't have enough points, they will not have enough stuff, so they will just die. So it's boring.
I think, Luis, you said it's the worst battle tome. I don't think I agree with that. I think Khorne was the worst battle tome.
Oh, that's a sensitive feeling.
I actually think it's Khorne on release was the worst. Not just in terms of power, just like design as a book, like what overall impression is. Khorne was the worst.
Yeah.
Then Idoneth Deepkin. then Nighthaunt. I do think Idoneth was a worse design because it simultaneously didn't change enough, and didn't like it just didn't add enough. But then it changed a few things, but just like it didn't go nearly far enough to be interesting. Especially because immediately after Idoneth came out, we got Kharadron and Khorne and Nighthaunt, which were all like huge changes for how those armies played. And Idoneth were sitting there still basically playing with the Index, but with like somewhat weaker version of the Index in some ways. And it's just not an exciting army at all. Like it's people forget Deepkin exists now. That's what point we're at. Like they just legit forget the army exists.
I don't. When I see my opponent's army that has all fly, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, oh, yeah, give me all those fly models.
Yeah, that's a current issue with them for sure. Flying is not a good thing to be right now.
Yeah, no, when you are running 12 Paladors, right, David?
Okay.
You're gonna have to pull out Paladors out of my dead hands.
Okay, so Gitz, we talked a lot about Gitz already. We can talk about them more in the tier list. I don't think we need to rehash any of that right now. And then other big losers are anyone using the Skyport Profiteers or the Cursed Steel Battery Regiment of Renown. Turns out the dwarves were very good mercenaries, too good, arguably, and they had to be nerfed. So Profiteers were really popular. Really popular, and that's just another big nerf to Fyreslayers, frankly. The fact that they went up.
I think I hated that they wrote it in such a way that the KORR just became like half the armies in this game's like crutch. Like there's like so many armies that are just like insert KOROR, and like that just feels like a failed design.
If all it did was remove wards or teleport units, if it did one of those two things, it could have actually stayed at its original cost, I think. But doing both at the same time and also giving you two screens that you could teleport around, that made it way too valuable. It provided something a lot of armies were missing, and maybe those armies should be missing those things. Maybe not everyone should have ward removal. Maybe not everyone should have teleports.
Yeah.
And same with the artillery from the Helsmiths, right? Maybe some armies are designed to just not have access to shooting, and that's okay.
I have played against slaves, and it was good, but I didn't think like it was like, oh, it's so oppressive. So I don't know. I think it was a little bit unnecessary. Maybe they didn't even give enough time for people to really try it.
I think it was better that they nipped it in the bud. I did not want to deal with it. If it was overpowered, I didn't want to deal with it for 3 months until they fixed it.
But sometimes the people doesn't count with many armies to experience different kind of games or kind of playing styles. So when you have this tool to cover some weakness or to covering some another actions that you will be loving to count with in your army, obviously you start using this. And I feel, as you have mentioned, this is covering a need that every single army should have, at least with 1 or 2 units that could cover every single kind of playing style. And when you have the chance to include it in your army, just because obviously the people is starting using. So I don't know how good or bad is nerfing this. I don't think is good. I think that the people should have more this kind of tools just to improve their skills.
I don't know. I really don't like that they're giving the same tools to every army. I know it's not every army, right? Like not everybody could use the Profiteers, but cool things stop feeling cool. Like cool army things stop feeling cool if everybody can do it. Like if everybody has teleports, if everybody has reserves, if everybody has long range shooting, if everybody has 20-inch move, then it just starts to water down the game, and it doesn't feel good to have like, oh, there's Stormcast, I gotta watch out for this thing that they do. If it's like, oh, well, here's Fyreslayers, they can teleport too. It's the slowest army in the game, and they get an access to a teleport as well, a spammable one, like every turn. Like, oh, here's this army, they're really scary because they shut off wards completely. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, so does everyone because they got some guns over there. And the guns do it from 18 inches away. So it just feels kind of lame. It's not like a balance problem necessarily. It's a fun problem for me, right? Like when the armies are too similar, the game is less fun. I want a completely asymmetric battlefield. I don't want to play chess at all. I do not want a mirrored game. I want the game to be totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like everywhere. It was like everywhere Worlds, because it's like when you make also it so cheap that like it almost feels stupid not to take it. Then like everybody's gonna take it.
Yep.
Like that's the problem.
Yep.
It's hard to balance for sure.
I'm not even sure if plus 30 is enough for some armies. It hurts, but I was honestly expecting like plus 60. Like
Bonereapers will still take it.
Yeah.
Like
I thought they were gonna send it into the stratosphere.
No, like a lot of the armies that were using it got offset in some ways. Like I think Morghast Harbingers went down 10. So if you're bringing 1 or 2 units of those, you pretty much don't feel the ROR nerf. Yep. Okay.
I don't know. I'm still thinking that the best regiments of renown in the last 1 or 2 years has been the ones that can offer an extra movement, at least in order. Calice and Toll and these Profiteers. So it's not about to be shared with all the rest of the armies. It's only with order. I know that we are the biggest alliance in the game, but it's covering something. So I don't know. I would like to have seen a little bit more time these Profiteers.
I might be more inclined to agree. Like having Grand Alliance flavor could be cool, right? Like if the Profiteers were restricted to Order armies, that would be kind of like I'm playing Order, so I can splash this in, right? But the fact that they could be used by almost every army that mattered, that just made it weird to me. Like, I get that there's lore reasons behind all this stuff, but it doesn't seem consistent because why wouldn't the Fyreslayers work for anyone? That's kind of like their whole deal, is that they work for anyone in exchange for Urgold. Or like why wouldn't Kharadron Overlords or Fyreslayers have the Helsmiths working for them? Is it like they're so mad at them because they're evil dwarves? It's like, or are they a little more pragmatic? Because dwarves are a bit more pragmatic than most, right? Like Fyreslayers are super pragmatic people because they'll do anything for Urgold. Like they'll betray the ancient blood rights of their people if they need to in order to get more Urgold. And Kharadron are just like capitalism ho, like let's do it, let's make some money, so I don't think it's consistent in terms of like, is this for lore reasons or for balance reasons?
Yeah, probably yes. Yes, you're right.
Lady Robot in the chat says ROR should be efficient access to stuff your faction can't do. If you want to make Regiments of Renown as a system a successful system, then you would do that. You would say, okay, well, here's the teleporting ROR, here's the reserve ROR, here's the ward canceling Regiment of Renown, and we're designing the game in such a way that you want to take Regiments of Renown, so we're going to make them strong, we're going to make them costed efficiently, and you're really just picking the flavor of tech that you want, right? Like, my army can already teleport, so I'm not going to take the teleporting one. I'm going to take the ward removing one. Or my army already removes wards. Maybe I'll take the one that gives me a bunch of screens because I'm playing an elite army. And that's if you want to make regiments a successful system, that's what you would do. I don't think the goal should be to make regiments a successful system necessarily. I don't know what the goal with the regiments should be. That's kind of the problem, because what are they trying to add to the game with that, right? Like
that you buy more models.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You buy models from this army, and then you think, oh, well, I've already got some models. Maybe I'll start the whole army, right? I don't think they add more to the game than they detract from it, because I think army identity is incredibly important. I think feeling that your faction is unique in terms of playstyle, and that your army does a cool thing that other armies don't, I think that's more important for making the game better. But obviously, I'm not concerned about sales. I don't care how many Profiteers are sold. That's not a concern to me. So it's just a matter of what you value. And I think Games Workshop's values are quite different than than the players' values. Okay, let's talk big winners. Khorne, we talked about. We'll talk more in detail when we go to their tier listing, just how much better they are. And we talked about Seraphon. I don't think it's just the resurrecting that's going to make Seraphon better. I think the point changes they got are pretty significant. They got minus 20 on the Bastiladon with the laser beam, and the cheaper that model gets, the more interesting it gets, because it shoots better than a Knight Judicator. It's only 90 points more than a Knight Judicator, but imagine you had a unit of Annihilators with a Judicator inside. That's what a Bastiladon is now, right? It's 220 points for a Knight Judicator shooting with an Annihilator body that doesn't degrade as it takes damage. It's a 2+ save all the time. It's a very, very interesting unit, and if it gets any cheaper, we are looking at some very cool stuff. The spawn of Chotek at 90 points as well, that's also very interesting, because it becomes a spammable unit very soon. It's almost back at 80 points, which is what Salamanders were in 2nd edition when they were so broken, so I kind of want the meme magic to work out that they go back to 80 points. But yeah, Seraphon, big improvement overall.
I think they're trying to make Dino Bros happy. Like, I think they want people to play like those, like, what's it called? What's the regiment?
Thunderquake?
Thunderquake, yeah. I think they want to make that regiment, those people happy.
Then they should have released a new Stegadon War Scroll. The Stegadon is so bad.
It's so old. I think that was my first model in back when it was called Warhammer Fantasy. I think that was my first model, actually.
The Stegadon on the charge hits like Iridan. Just the mount. So imagine if Iridan didn't have the rider and it was just the mount. That's what the Stegadon hits like. I don't even know if it's Rend 2. I'm going to double check that while I'm talking. I think it might just be Rend 1. So it might be worse than Iridan's mount.
I can't also complain seeing more dinos on the table. I feel like all I play against is like Kroxigor bombs and like add as many Lancers as you can to a list and then move on. Or just some Croak flavor.
I want dinosaurs to be good. I think they just need new rules for that. Red 1, yeah, it's... Oh, man. Spawn of Chotek down 50% in points since launch. Was it really 180 at the start of this edition? That's crazy. I don't believe that. That's so wild. I can't...
That's like Ironjawz, like, point starting level.
That's nuts.
And it's 2 damage.
Yeah, 2 damage. It goes up to 3 if you charge, which means max 18, and there's no way to spread all-out attack in this army, so it's going to be on 4s and 2s. Yeah. And watch out for the super scary D3 mortals if it charged, and your infantry. And only one of them can do it per turn, so it's actually worse than a chariot, a Stormcast chariot that costs 120 points. It's bad. It's so sad, too. Yeah. That should have been the soggy update. Stegadon and Stegadon Chief should have gotten new War Scrolls. Oh well.
Well.
Yeah, avoided Nerfs award. Slaanesh obviously needs to be nerfed. They're very, very strong, and we've been warning about them for a while because they have been a strong... Like, they've been sleeping... People have been sleeping on them. They've been... What other analogies do I want to use? They've been flying under the radar because they're just not popular. I don't know. I think it's because chariots are just, like, impossible to get, and painting Sybarites is hell. Like, there's just the worst combination of flesh and cloth and all this detail, and then armor trim on some of them. Painting Slaanesh just sucks, and I think that they're just... People don't want to do it, maybe? That might be a reason. But it's also hard to play because it's a fragile glass cannon army. Every unit is a glass cannon, and I guess Stormcast are used to it. So, but like, it really is glass cannon. Everything's like a 5 and 6 up save. There's almost nothing durable in that army at all. So you have to be super careful with your positioning and trading and threat ranges, and it makes it a very hard army to play. And I don't think it should be that difficult to play. Frankly, I don't think it should be like a 200 IQ army.
I don't think they were hit enough.
Sorry.
They weren't hit at all. Like, the only nerf for them here is Glutos can be shot, which is he's not getting one tapped by long strikes, so it's like we still have to put melee into him, so it's not like we can just pick him up for free. But it is, I guess, it is a significant nerf, yeah.
Some INS studios love Slaanesh.
Flesh Eater Courts. How did the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist only go up 10 points? How did that not go up more? That's insane to me.
Yeah, it's
Have
very
they won
minor.
it? Have Feg really won events, or are they just like teetering at that like 4-1, like we are always 4-1 type? So I haven't really seen Feg like go too many 5-0s. I think that's probably why they probably flew underneath the radar, and they were in top 16 at Worlds. So I think they're just like they're at that really good spot where they're like super good, but they might have just been passed over.
They had
Lumineth.
1 5-0 in this past Battlescroll. A single one.
Yeah, they feel like very much a gatekeep army. Like you have to be able to play against a good Feg player.
And there's so
It's a
many
popular
different
army.
kinds of lists, man. There's the monster spam, there's ghouls, there's
Yeah.
horrors, there's flayers. There's a ton of good units in that army. I wonder if it's just people haven't
Yeah, they have
put together the right list.
It might also just be like a little more difficult. Like in third, it was just 8. Like okay, Urshron, 18 Morghast Knights, go forward, right? Like it wasn't that much thinking. Now it feels like there's a little bit more. That list kind of got revived with the 7 Terrorgeist nonsense. But I feel overall the strongest version of Effect does require a lot more thought now because it requires a lot more mixed arms.
I guess they're balanced. I guess they're a balanced army. Like all the stats and everything show they're balanced, but man, sometimes they don't feel balanced.
They can have
Yeah,
pretty
because-
bad matchups depending on the list that they build.
Yeah.
They have a good resources because they are not depending of one central piece just to have good performance. So they have a good diversity in along all the range of units, and also besides that, they are not depending of one simple unit. So that's good. This is something kind of Stormcast because you can make the list with whatever you want to do. So, and also they are offering a good performance. It doesn't need to keep the same structure as always. So I see it's good. It's a shame that they are not getting only more first places in the GTs, but right now I feel that they are good.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna boost up like too much. I think they're gonna stay fairly balanced. So they avoided the nerfs, but I don't think that they were in need of a very big nerf.
Sure felt like it.
Currently they win rate is good. Yeah.
All right,
Win
last
rate
one
right
here.
now.
Armies that maybe should have been nerfed but weren't. Stormcast maybe should have been nerfed. Beacon of Azir is incredibly strong, like oppressively strong. It feels like there's just no play against it except like to just lose value and you just have to outlast it. Stormcast, when you do it right, feel really, really, really good right now. And frankly, I'm surprised that we didn't get some kind of nerf. Like we did get the Starstrike Javelin nerf, which more or less didn't matter. Like it's like you barely, unless you're David and you're running 12 of them, you don't really feel it. And even then, you can just swap one of them for Karazai, and your list actually gets better. So,
I like how I didn't make top 16, but my hammer unit got nerfed.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you spam stuff. If you bring spam to Worlds, it gets nerfed. That's a consistent pattern.
Yeah.
Boingrot Bounders,
And
nerfed.
Matt was looking at your match in the shadow round, so
There's like multiple triple questers and they didn't get hit, but like javelins did. I'm like, what is this?
Well, I'm glad because every time somebody in the world buys Questor Soulsworn, we get a little commission here. So, pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, what I was expecting was an increase of points in the questors, and they didn't.
yeah, I was surprised that they didn't go up.
If
Because they are very easy to put into the list because it's like, okay, 200 points, they are great. Teleport, 5 ward save, potentially good damage, They are amazing.
Yeah.
They are, but it's only because we compare them to other units in our army. They're amazing for internal
sure.
balance reasons, right?
Yeah, sure.
They're just efficient. If they went up to 220, we wouldn't play them anymore. They just wouldn't be played. Maybe one unit per list.
Yep.
But I
guess maybe we didn't need to be nerfed. Maybe just like an adjustment, right? Like adjustment could be like portal should be free, but beacon plus 20.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I'd
maybe
be down
things
with
just
that.
need to be adjusted. I don't think we need to be super buffed or super nerfed. I think things just need to get adjusted. Things probably could have just been adjusted.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, a lot of things could be adjusted down, like the Star Drake.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I was expecting, but that happened in most armies. I was expecting a lot of the cheap units or the units that were not used to be going down, and it didn't do it for any army. So it's not a thing only for Stormcast. So they went like very conservative in that regards for this Battlescroll.
Well, like the last Battlescroll, the biggest change for us was that every other army got nerfed a lot. And that just improves all our matchups. Nighthaunt got easier. Cities probably got harder, honestly, because of the Zenestra change. Cities probably is now a tougher matchup. And, Maggotkin got nerfed, which is a good thing for us. Like, everybody going down while we stay more or less the same is a good thing. So, yeah, let's talk.
Fair, at least we could shoot Talia.
Nobody's going to play Talia. Nobody's playing Talia anymore now that Zenestra's back. There's no reason to play a big model anymore.
That's fair.
Okay,
let's talk cannons.
Let's talk.
You can shoot the
cannons.
Yes,
we can shoot the cannons. That's true.
And that is a good way to shoot.
That is a good thing to do.
Shoot.
Yeah, because they would frequently just redeploy them into obscuring. It was the most frustrating thing.
Yeah, it was annoying.
You could even, depending on their setup, like you could even split fire probably then knock out 2 in one go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because the cannons were left behind their lines, so you could not teleport freely anywhere, and you cannot shoot at them, and so it was annoying. So now we can shoot and clear that side of the board, and then send our army towards there and start taking the back side of the board from them. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Okay, let's talk about the Stormcast buffs. Krondus went down 20 points, which is great because that offsets the Javelin nerf. Because every time you bring Krondus, you bring 6 Javelins, so those lists are exactly as good as they were before.
I'm gonna try it.
It's the same list as it was. Nothing changed.
Yeah. I miss my dragon.
Krondus going down 20 is interesting. I think the right point value for him is 500, so I think he needs to keep going down a bit more. Bastion, another 10. Not necessary. He was good at 220. There's no... It's fine, I guess. It's like when Liberators went from 100 to 90, and we were like, why? Okay, sure, why not? Like, we're not using these guys, but okay, why not? And this one, I'm gonna make a case for. The Vigilant on Morgriff at 200 points is now a playable unit. But it's not
like a flanker.
But it is not playable in any list that you guys have written in the last year and a half. The whole edition, you have not written a list that is suited for the Vigilant on Morgriff. Because
what are you thinking?
He needs the Sigil of Morda, and he needs Legendary Tenacity, and he becomes like an unreinforced cavalry unit that plays on the flank. So picture, if your list had something like Stormstrike Paladors or Questers on a flank, replace that unit with this guy. And think about how that would play. It's 12-inch move, it can use a resistance roll to ignore charge mortals, or spells, or any kind of nasty nonsense. It can use the 5-up ward from Sentinels of the Bleak Citadel, so if your list had just prosecutors, well, now you have a second unit that can use it, so you can actually use a good subfaction. Sigil of Morda is a very strong ability, turning off commands and making people spend points for them, and also turning off rampages. In addition to the 4-up ruination roll, like this guy is just like eating ogre charges like it's no problem, you know? He's an interesting flank unit. His damage is not good. His health is not good. But he's not competing against reinforced units. He's competing against your second unit of Quester Soulsworn. But he takes up the artifact. I don't think you use him without the artifact.
That's bad.
It's not good. It's not ideal. But if you're not using Quicksilver Draft, would you be willing to lose the Beacon? Remember, Beacon's only once per game, so it's good, but it's only once per game, whereas the Sigil could be 10 turns of value, potentially.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, he's competing against the chariot. No one
Yes.
wants to include them right now.
Well, imagine if the chariot was bigger and better and shut off commands, and when it died on a 3+, it just came back to life. And it had 12 health, so it could power through most things in the game. And it took extra healing from Tornus. And it had a 5-up ward. And it was flying. And it had Ren 2. There's a lot, like I'm saying, these little things start to add up. And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I hate the fact that this, like, the leader of the Ruination Chamber, the Lord Celestant equivalent, the head honcho, the best, strongest person in the Ruination Chamber is sitting on a flank hunting down chaff. I hate that that's his role. But it's a role, and it works, I think, maybe. If the
I wish he was a
Morgriff,
take-all.
if the Morgriff stays alive 10 turns, you've won the game. Okay, so David, with regards to that, I think that matters less because usually when you're playing the Morgriff, you're playing Tornus, so you can benefit from the extra healing. But there will be situations where you will want to bring prosecutors into a list, but you don't want to use a take-all hero. Like, you want to just use Warrior Chamber and Ruination Chamber, and Morgriff could slot in there, replacing a unit of questers, unlocking the ability to bring prosecutors.
I see it.
Right?
Yeah, I
It's
get it.
it's niche.
Yep.
It's like a C tier at best. It is not a
But I
great
wouldn't-
unit.
But I wouldn't go without the beacon, honestly. Not even in those lists.
It's not the most competitive list, probably. Beacon just creates so many plays. It's hard to say no to it. But I think the Morgriff, because Sigil is very strong. Because, like, picture charging in any unit and then charging in the Morgriff with it, and it just shuts off all that defense. And when the Morgriff dies, remember, on a 3-up, it comes back to life. This is a big deal. Right? This is like a good use of a heroic trait, because right now we basically don't have a heroic trait. We just take legendary tenacity on a Knight Relictor, and sometimes he survives after we recycle, and it's like, oh, okay.
When you remember that it has
Yeah.
I always forget that he has it and he dies.
But yeah, picture like a flanking unit that has a 12-inch flying move, and then after it fights, it powers through back, and then it can start taking rallies from Tornus, minimum 3 healing, maximum 9 healing from Tornus, probably more he's going to average around 6 or 7 healing. That's a pretty good yo-yo. It's like a self-recycling unit, with that power through.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking because like the Lord Celestin on Star Drake is a take-all. So like if this is like the equivalent of essentially him in the Ruination Chamber, like just make him a take-all.
I would like that a lot.
Just also like I have like dreams about having running different type of birds at people. So like, I would set Paladors, one bird, and then I got the Vigilant on the Morgriff, the other bird.
And you have to dress up in a chicken outfit, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Birds of War.
Get a chocobo.
Birds of War. For real. So I wish more of these centerpiece models they're like kind of supposed to be centerpieces because of how big their base is, how big the model is. I just feel like you might as well just make them take-alls. Like,
yeah. Okay, so I've sold you guys on the Morgriff. I hope I put like a seed in there that maybe one day you could play him. Let's actually talk about.
I have him. I would play him in a pickup game. Like if I just wanted to like run a fun list, like I would play him in a pickup game. 100%.
I think he's tournament worthy too. Not a 5-0 probably, but there's probably better choices.
Look.
But So okay, one last thing I want to say about him. His abilities are not worthless. They're not good, but they're not worthless. If you're bringing a list that has a Morgriff, you will be bringing another Ruination unit. Probably, maybe 2, right? And his +5 control is not worthless. If you actually have a Ruination list, like if you have, let's say, Terminos with Quicksilver Draft and some Reclusians, and you have let's just say Prosecutors. Let's say you just have Prosecutors and the Morgriff. Giving them +5 control and putting them up to max 11 control lets you walk onto an objective with them and take it away from a monster even a big monster like an ogre monster or a Be'lakor or something, which means you don't actually have to commit to fighting it this turn, which can be situationally useful. It's not a great pitch, but it's not nothing, right? It's like,
Yeah, it's not. The thing is, it's not bad for 200 points.
yes, exactly. That's exactly my point. For 200 points, for the same cost as a unit of
Not bad.
questers, we get all this utility. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Questers still have the edge in damage and health and teleporting and all these things. But if you have too many questers in your list, it's too slow. This guy is not a slow unit.
Yeah,
I can't
But it's
believe
like,
he started at 280.
Like deciding between your or priest, because we have a Night Relictor, and so it's difficult to use another priest in the meta game.
Mm-hmm. It's tough to
think
justify
it's
running
the
double
same-
priest.
Exactly. So right now, with the Lord Vigilant, is kind of hard because I prefer to take one unit that could be a cavalry, that could be representing more wounds or probably a better hammer. So instead to create this kind of synergies that could be not the most effective. It's not
Sure.
bad, as you said.
He's
Yeah.
not competing with any synergy piece. He's competing with Quester Soulsworn.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, or two chariots.
I don't use
Yeah.
it yet, so we get it a little bit cheaper at 180.
Yeah, probably yes. It's like a Bastion. How much we were desiring Bastion in third edition with this point level of cost.
Oh god, he was,
So
he
right
was
now
way
that
too
we
expensive.
Yeah, he was 310 kind of.
300. And if we had a joke back then that he would finish the edition at 300 points, like every battle scroll we waited and we hoped, oh, this is finally the time he's going to go down. This is the time he's going to go down. And it became like a meme that he would stay at 300 points the whole edition and have zero play.
Yeah, exactly. So how much we need that this guy is dropping the cost to be included.
80 points down. It's such a huge drop. They overcosted him by almost, like, they've cut a third off his cost. It's crazy.
Exactly.
The problem is
Yeah.
the damage. He should be like our Altharion. I will keep repeating that.
Yes, but he can give Altharion Strike last. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
He just has to roll higher than the health characteristic, not equal or higher. He has to roll higher.
Yeah.
so bad.
No, it has to be a monster hero.
Non-monster hero. So it can be cavalry or
non-monster
infantry.
hero.
He can give Croak Strike last.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
You just have to roll higher than Croak's health. Oh, okay. It's not great, but it's usable. And if you have a Vigilant on Morgriff, you finally, there is a list that you can play and not, you could probably 4-1 with him. Maybe we should make it like a challenge to 5-0 with the Vigilant in your list.
I'll bring it to the next tournament. Just to please Paul.
Okay.
Just make him a take-all, and I would take him. I would take him. Just make him a take-all. That's an awesome 200-point take-all model.
Yeah, it's a hammer take-all. It's a cheap hammer take-all. Like, Celestin Prime should be a cheap hammer take-all. He should go down another 30 points. I'd pay 240 for Celestin Prime.
Indrasta.
Yeah.
Indrasta,
Indrasta, if it was-
260 I'd pay for Indrasta, probably.
Yep.
All right, Desolators went down another 10, so they're now 180. Desolators are competing with Concussors. Concussors are generally just better. But does 60 points make a difference? Because Desolators are not a bad unit by any means. They do have anti-infantry. They can get a 33% damage bonus. No, sorry, 50% damage bonus on the Riders. So they can be Rend 2 all the time, but they wound on 3s instead of 2s. They don't shut off commands. There's a lot of models and a lot of units in this game that have exactly 10 models, and the way Stormcast plays, we want to shoot stuff first and then charge and finish it off. So, like, when we shoot, we're reducing the damage of the Desolators, which feels bad, even though it is the right choice because stuff's got to die. But even their own shooting could just get rid of their own damage bonus. So that it doesn't feel good, is what I'm trying to say. But 60 points off concussors is an interesting value proposition. So maybe there's a list out there somewhere that needs to squeeze that much. Like it needs a melee hammer, and then Desolators at 360 are an interesting melee hammer, because Tempestors at 340 have found their way into a lot of my lists as a discount utility hammer kind of unit. Maybe Desolators might do the same.
Keep getting them down, Games Workshop.
I think 180 is the right point value for them, but I don't know if it's enough, which is weird to say.
No.
Our Storm Strike's still 190.
Well, that's in a whole other discussion. They should be 170.
Cavaliers are 160, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just... It would be a lot easier for them to just go in and make an FAQ saying add +1 wound, light wounds to the Dracothian profile, like make them 6 wounds, than it is to try to keep bringing things down. Just make them 6 wounds. And call it a day.
I would actually rather they stay 5 health and get more damage output. Because if they were really good damage, we could run a squad of 2 on a flank and feel good about it, like we did last edition with Dracolines and Fulminators.
Yep.
Like, remember when Fulminators did max 42 damage with 2 models, all on Ren 2? Oh my god, that was so good. Loved it. Okay, Praetors went down 10 points. Does this matter? Probably not.
If you bring the current list, -20, -10, maybe.
But those lists are usually bringing javelins, so it'd have to be some kind of Krondis list that doesn't bring javelins and brings Praetors. I don't know what that list looks like. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I made one. I'll send them to you.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they're cheaper, but I don't know. I really don't know how much it matters. I think we're trying to pivot away from spending extra protection on models because we're getting stretched in with points.
Yeah. The problem with Praetors is that Annihilators exist, and 2+ saves are usually better than 5-up boards, and having to stay near a hero to keep the 5-up board activated is kind of rough. But I guess it's cool that you can just put the 5-up board anywhere on the battlefield, because any number of Praetors can bond to a single hero. So if you have like a Knight Judicator drop down somewhere, you can drop 3 Praetors in front of him, and they're kind of like a screen. 9 health with a 5-up ward is effectively like 13 to 14 health. So that's pretty efficient. That's about as efficient as our Redeemers yet. But their damage output is obviously better. They're max 20 on 3s Ren 1. So that's obviously better than what we'd get with Liberators or Vanquishers or something. For equivalent costs.
Very interesting.
It is, but like, again, those could be Shield Annihilators instead. The same damage output, but they get the mortal wounds on top of it. Instead of a 5-up board, you just have a 2-up save that's unconditional. So yeah, I don't think this matters for Praetors. They can be 120.
They have to be good. They have to go with the big dragons.
Yeah.
They usually have the problem that they don't catch up and all that stuff. So I'm thinking about Krondis only.
Well, their niche is protecting the big dragons from shooting. But there's actually not enough shooting in the game to lift the big dragons in one turn right now. Even reinforced long strikes don't do it reliably. They'll do about 10, maybe like 12 damage if they spike, or like a slightly high spike. Like their average is 10 into a monster hero. So it's not like it'll take 2 volleys to kill them, which is enough time. Okay, and Vindictors, 90-point Vindictors. Something we joked about a year ago has come true, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't.
No.
They're so bad still. They just don't do any damage. And even if they did damage, they still only do it on a 4+. Because they're too slow to go anywhere, and they have no other utility besides taking charges. So, bad unit stays bad. And the only nerf we got was Starstrike Javelins went up 10 points, which doesn't really matter. There's very specific builds that might have to downgrade a unit. But David's list, well, like we were saying, you can just pivot to Karazai, right? Like swap one of the Javelins for Karazai and the list works. You should, man.
Take the Palador from Hitler.
The meta we're about to go into is so unfavorable to rend one that relies on weapon abilities as well. Like, if you're just rend one, man, I don't know, it's not going to be good enough.
You just gotta roll better. That's a goal.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I don't roll my opponent's dice. If I could give my lousy rolls to my opponent, I would.
Me too. I tried at Worlds and it didn't
No,
work.
I do agree. I think Big Dragon's probably the swap, but you're gonna have to do more than +10 to rip 12 Paladors out of my hands. I really feel like.
Well, I mean, are you gonna play this whole edition with that list?
Probably.
Oh my god.
Especially with like the less time, because I had a kid, so like the less time I have to play, like I could just play double Paladors at this point, like blindfolded and probably drunk if I needed to. Like, it's really hard for me to like pull away from that. I don't know. I also just like I want variation from other things though. Like I want Prime to go down. I want Adrasta to go down. Like I want these other units actually I have on my shelf that I enjoy to go down.
Yeah, that is what I
Yeah.
felt with the Battlescroll as well. I was hoping for them to go down so I could try some different stuff.
Yeah.
With my other armies as well. With Lumineth, it was the same. It was like meh.
Or like maybe something like more fun seasonal rules. So like I enjoyed when I was playing Kharazai at the beginning with that bodyguard thing that he had. Like that was actually kind of flavorful and fun, and I enjoyed it. But then like all that flavor is gone now, so it's like I'm just running stat blocks at people. Like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's ask these questions and then we'll move on to the tier list. Do any of the changes change how we build Stormcast lists? I don't think so.
No.
I think we're doing exactly what we were doing last week.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of like the thing that happened like last Battlescroll where it was like for example, like my list I got +10, so I got to put Portal back. Like that's what this feels like again. Like oh, maybe your list got like +10 or something, right? Like
yeah, I think that cities and Khorne are going to be 2 of the top 5 armies. So I think we need to consider them more in our list building. I think Rend is more important than ever. And it can't be anti-infantry. It can't be anti-cavalry. It has to be native Rend. And it can't be Crit Mortals either. Crit Mortals are just no good against Khorne now. Well, not no good, but they're less good. They're less useful. So I think that's a serious consideration for us. Otherwise, we do it exactly the same.
this is how we beat Khorne. We're going to start spread propaganda that only 5 Thirsters are still the only thing that's playable.
Oh, it won't work, man. People love playing Bloodbound. People played Bloodbound even when it was like a weird techie movement army. People just wanted to play the cannibal armored horde dudes. They're so cool. So it's not going to happen, unfortunately. It's like Slaves to Darkness. No matter how good or bad Slaves to Darkness is, people want to put heavily armored, black armor dudes on the table and move them forward and hit stuff and take hits. That's what they want to do. And they're going to do it. But now they'll be colored red.
These slaves, all of a sudden, all these Slaves of Darkness armies are suddenly now playing Khorne. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Like, oh, this is Khorne, just Khorne in disguise.
Yeah. All right, let's do a tier list. Yay! Nope, that's not it.
I'm surprised Tzeentch wasn't touched. I'm
All
really
right.
surprised Sandcores weren't touched.
Yeah.
They were, weren't they?
Just a little bit. The
Yeah,
Sandworms
it's-
went off. Then
I don't
love-
think enough though. I think they just dropped what did they just drop like a screen or something? I don't think they
Yeah.
dropped enough. They're still gonna run 40 to 60 Sandcores.
Yeah, it's like a slap on the wrist, like, hey, we're watching you. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they're going to go do that. Like, it's like you look away from the kid and they're going to get in the cookie jar every time. But,
Yeah.
okay, let's talk tier list. So, unfortunately, I can't share this with you guys in Discord, so you'll have to watch the stream. You can mute
I
it.
am.
Okay, good. All right, where do we want to
Yeah.
start? Somebody pick an army. David, pick an army. Any army.
All right, Feck, A tier.
A tier for Feck. Okay, that's...
I don't think they were hit enough. Like +10 does absolutely nothing.
In a world where every army they were competing against got nerfed, yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. I can see
I
that.
agree. Yep, me too.
Like on the low mid. I don't think they're high A by any means, right? Like just to get that out of the
No,
way.
I don't think they're like. I think some of their lists that are really good probably got hit a little bit, but it's not enough to care. Like they're gonna be like us. They're just gonna do what they were doing last week. Like okay, at most they might have to drop like an artifact or something, or like
Yeah.
maybe reduce a screen unit to something weaker. Like that's all they're gonna do.
Will not be a significant change. I agree with that. Yeah. Okay.
I think that the seven. Actually, I think they were saying like the seven Terror guys list. Like they just like switched the little foot hero that sits in the throne. Like they just swapped that to like a weaker foot hero.
A
And, like
cheaper
that's
one.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's literally it.
Yeah. Okay. Luis, any contradicting opinions, or are you okay with Feckin' A?
No, I am okay with that. I agree.
Okay. Luis, pick the next army. What do we want to talk about?
Oh, Idoneth B.
B. Okay.
I see that.
Well, okay. Let's define the top and bottom end of this.
Okay.
The bottom end has to be Helsmiths of Hashut.
Yep.
Right? The absolute worst army in the game has to be the Helsmiths. And what
I think Suns is worse.
they're
Yep,
both
me too.
fighting for last place. Relative to that, how good are Idoneth? Are they 2 tiers better than the Helsmiths? They don't feel 2 tiers better than the Helsmiths, you know?
I feel like they're C. They're just like they're gaming that they could double you and win, and that's like the whole like you could just if you play against Deepkin, you could just skip everything and just be like, let's see who wins priority from 1 to 2.
They don't feel very strong.
They are not the army that will be erasing the opponent in 1 or 2 rounds, but they have a lot of movement mechanics. I suppose that this is something that they will be doing really good beyond the sharks list. I suppose that they have good resources to keep doing well. So I don't know. This is my perspective. Probably yes, could be a C plus or B minus. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's try and see.
I would agree with that. B minus, C plus. They're on the lower end of B. I guess we'll see what else lands in B and C, and then we can judge Idoneth from there. For the record, C is still like viable. I think Idoneth can still 4-1. I think in the hands of a very skilled player. Oh, can they 5-0? I don't know. Now that I say it out loud, that doesn't. I'm not confident that they can 5-0.
I always feel like they hit a
No.
wall. Like they hit like an army that they just can't get through, and they'll just that will be their loss.
What were their
Yeah,
their
maybe.
results before this? Let's find out.
They struggle with Stormcast, which is very common, so they might be, yeah. C+.
Okay, they had 3 5-0s in this battle scroll. That's more than a lot of armies. So I'm okay with calling them B tier, low B, but B.
Yeah, yeah, I can see low B. That's fine.
Like
I
I think a D tier army just can't 5-0. Like if somebody 5-0s with it, it's like, oh, that's like news. Like we gotta talk about this on Honest Wargamer. You know, like it's a big deal.
And then we look it up, and it's like a 14-person GT. You're like, oh.
And they had a buy.
Like sure.
Okay. All right. We'll call them B tier. I'll settle for B tier. All right, Eduardo, pick an army.
Daughters of Cain.
Okay. Daughters of Cain,
tier.
maybe they should have been in the didn't get nerfed awards section. They really feel good. What is holding them back in the meta? I think Cities is going to be a very oppressive force for them. I think in general, Daughters of Cain doesn't have the best rend options. So if we're entering like a world with Khorne and Stormcast and Cities spamming 3-up saves, I think Daughters could struggle to deal damage into that.
If they don't roll at the right moment, the spell, yep. But they can do it.
It's not
To be
impossible.
honest, I think that we will be seeing a change in Doctor's Cain, right? Well, the previous 6 months, they were using a lot of the elf units, and I will see right now. Well, and the change is by the melo size. And lately, in the last month, we have seen good performance, but using melo size. So I think this is the future, especially when the cauldrons right now will be punished by the shooting. So turning now to melo size and small foot heroes will be the future for doctors. And I see because with Skate Coven they can still have the strike first. It doesn't matter at the end if they are not doing mortals. They could create a lot of volumes attacks, especially when they have two different abilities that could increase the double of the output damage. So that's good.
Yeah, I think snakes are better than people thought. They are performing reasonably well. We've seen some good results from them. I think the elf stuff is going to really struggle when cauldrons just get shot. I think it's not going to like make them worthless or anything because most of the game is still not shooting. But when you're playing against Kharadron or Stormcast or Kruleboyz or other armies that can kill your cauldrons from range, that's going to make those matchups a lot worse. So I think those lists will start to fall off, and then the lists that don't rely on the cauldrons, like using snakes and stuff and Morathi, those lists will start to rise up again because Morathi and snakes is actually good. I have concerns about Blood Sisters with their crit mortals being turned off by Khorne, but crit mortals are only turned off when you charge. If you are playing defensively, and Blood Sisters can play defensively, because if all they have to do is roll like higher than a 2+ against Blood Warriors, or like they can give strike last pretty reliably. Any number of Melusai can do this. So you can actually create like a phalanx of Blood Sisters because they're only on 40 mil bases. So you can do the same thing Stormcast do. You can have 3 units racked up like that, and if your opponent charges into them, you have 3 dice rolls looking for a single 3-up against Blood Warriors to give them strike last. And yeah, so I think Daughters are gonna do well into a Khorne-based meta. So I think Daughters are A tier.
The cauldrons are very good. They are good, but you can play without them. The elves,
yeah,
you can bring
absolutely.
more elves and play without them. The foot heroes do the same. They have the same rules, like every one of them in separate, and you lose a little bit. But I think that they can skew into that. You can even combine Morathi with some witch elves, and it can also do pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Daughters are A tier. And I think they're a higher A tier than Flesh Eaters. For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, is there an argument for making them S? I don't think so. I don't think there is. I don't think they're overpowered.
I'm not sure that there's an S army. I don't think there is.
Maybe Cities and Khorne. If there are 2 contenders, I think it's them.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not sure about Khorne. I don't think Cities gets to S, but it's gonna be okay. Yeah, those are gonna be the 2 tops if you want to put them.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. And I'm gonna say Cities is S. I think they're gonna be too strong. Zenestra coming back really terrifies me because she was an absolute menace, and they nerfed everything else in that era. Like if you remember, Krethissa was nerfed. Every army that like Kharadron was bonkers good for a while. Everything else has been nerfed, and now they're like, we're just gonna unnerf Zenestra. She's not as good as she was before.
I don't know why people missed that.
I totally blanked on it. I missed it completely.
Everybody missed that. I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe we just assumed they wouldn't be crazy enough to unnerf Zenestra, because why would you do why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
The regular Zenestra is seeing tons of play. There's no reason to make the soggy one good again. Yeah, okay. I think
you can put Khorne out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cities S. Cavaliers are still extremely efficient. I think what the Cities players will do is they'll drop from 2 command core down to 1. Maybe they'll swap out a hero. Maybe they'll drop.
Yeah, they don't care.
I don't think they're gonna drop the Executioner block though. I think they're gonna keep that. I think they drop one of
that.
Yeah, I guess you could just play a full grind game with the Cavaliers and Zenestra just teleporting them back. I think Cities is gonna be, and I'm not thinking like wildly too strong. I think maybe like below 60% win rate, but still too strong. You know? That's my thought.
Yeah,
like a
57 or
57, 58, something like that. Not like wildly too strong, but too strong nonetheless. Okay, so that's my army pick. Let's go back. David's AFK for a sec. Let's go, Luis. Pick an army.
I will pick slaves.
Slaves. Okay. If Khorne wasn't about to just be like an insane army, I would say slaves would be A tier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Khorne,
interesting because they got like a little buff, so it's interesting, and they were doing all right already. So I don't know, maybe they'll be lower part of A or higher part of B.
Yeah, B plus.
I think they're like mid B personally. I think there's better B tier armies than them. We'll see, but I don't think they're A tier. I think Khorne.
You think that?
I think Khorne keeps them out.
Flesh Eater is better than them.
Yep. Yeah, I do.
Yep,
I think Flesh Eaters is better.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, like the Knights are just really strong. Monsters are really strong. Ghouls, nobody's playing, but they are strong.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Eduardo, pick an army.
I'll go with Soulblight.
Okay. I don't know much about this army because I don't play them. And they just got
good.
buffs.
They should be around the level of slaves, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. Yes, because they don't have the same kind of resources to split their game style. So, well, I don't know too much about them, but I haven't seen too much in the variation in the meta list.
What's good in Soulblight right now? Is it still just Blood Knights and Prince Vordry?
Yeah, it's
Vordry, the Dread Rattle Skeletons, or those guys, the horses and the guys on foot, they are good.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah,
I still think they could play the control game really well. They can still bring a lot of bodies. You have to respect the wounds they bring.
Yep.
And the tricks with bringing stuff back.
Have you seen something different in their structure in the meta list?
I mean, I used to have a Soulblight player by me, but I think he just plays 40k only now. But from going from different GTs, I've seen Soulblight. It feels very like a controlled type of game, and just like, at least when he played, it was also the same way. It was just trying to whittle you down. There's nothing really more. The army doesn't have anything more than that. It's trying to do what it did in 3rd edition, but with less models. Like, it doesn't have the 200 zombies with all this like 5+ ward and mortal hit you back stuff. It lost all the offensive output. It's just now trying to win out on points.
I think they're a lower B tier. They're like worse than slaves, but about as good as slaves.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about Soulblight is if their win rate keeps staying low enough, then they might get to a point where Ironjawz, where they flip really hard, and now they're bringing all these bodies, and now we're just repeating like 3rd edition is what I'm worried about. So it's very hard to balance Soulblight, and I'm not sure if that's just because of how they wrote the book. It's just one of those armies that they always have to be careful with.
I think that's going to happen, though. I think sometime between now and the end of the edition, they're going to overbuff Soulblight, and we'll have to deal with hordes of garbage again.
Yep.
Okay. Low B tier, any disagreement on that?
No.
Okay. Moving on. David, pick an army.
I think OBR is high B or low A. I think they've been flying I think they're like Slaanesh. They've been flying underneath the radar, and they've gotten enough buffs to just the army's like really annoying now to deal with.
Stalkers are very annoying. They got buffed to that point where they're spammed, and that is annoying to deal with for sure.
And Catacross can still be obscured and do the crazy stuff that Glutos was doing.
Yes. They don't seem like... I mean, they're definitely not A tier. They don't feel like an
No.
A-tier army when you play against it. They have some annoying stuff, but not enough that you're like sweating playing against them. You know, like they're just better than average, but not by enough to be A-tier. They feel like an average, like an average-ish army.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like a damage check army or rend check army. If you want to see it.
Or
like
mobility check. Like, can I ignore Catacross for 5 rounds? Like, how much stuff is he going to kill? Can I outscore him?
Yep.
They're very good at using the seasonal rules. I noticed when I was playing at Worlds, because they can move just fast enough because they're only 6-man, right? Stalkers they come in 3s, right? So yeah, so 6. So 6 man's the reinforced unit. They're very good at having just enough movement to bounce between obscuring if they need to, if they hit those 3+ rolls on the places of power.
And they have really good rend, which will be very useful coming up soon.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say I also agree that I think with this new because their abilities aren't weapon abilities, like they're just abilities under scroll, like the anti-charge.
Aside from crit hits, which every model has, right? Like turning off crit hits is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they're high B, definitely at least high B. They're getting away with a lot of things right now.
I agree. I think a lot of these other armies are going to struggle to, like Idoneth with their Rend 1 for the most part is going to struggle into the Catacross lists. I think, yeah, high B sounds right. I agree. Okay.
Your turn, Paul.
My turn. Okay. I want to talk about Fyreslayers. I think Fyreslayers were A tier in contention for like top 5. That's where they were. These nerfs have been very significant because the Regiment of Renown is plus 30. Magmadroths went up like 40, and then another 10 per Magmadroth, 20 sometimes. It's rough. And the Rune Master went up, which is like the tax hero. Everybody plays the Rune Master, so he's just a straight up 10-point nerf on the army. Everything's more expensive. Usually what this results in is you will downgrade Vulcan Flameseekers down to like Hearthguard or Volkite Berserkers, which are actually a lot better than most people give credit. I know that the Fyreslayers Discord is like super down on them, but they are still 20 health for 120 points. They are very efficient as screens, and yeah, so I think there's going to be a pivot. I think Fyreslayers will come out of it as like a high B, low A army. I think they're about as good as Flesh Eaters now. They're still very good. Everything they did before, they still do. They've lost a unit in their lists, which is a big deal. To compensate, you'll probably see people swapping out of the Profiteers. I think the 2-Droth lists are just going to drop the Profiteers and bring a Rune Smiter, and maybe they'll bring like a Rune Father on foot with some Auric Hearthguard for shooting support. There's lots of different ways to play it. I don't think the nerf is game ending, but I think it drops them out of contention for being one of the top 5 armies. I think they're just like they're with Flesh Eater Courts. They're going to be like a 4-1 army primarily.
Yeah, I think
believe in you.
when they were balancing them, I think when they were balancing them, I think, in my opinion, I think they got hit really hard. But I wonder if it's because when you look at some of the top winning lists, it was like, okay, I could bring a good amount of drops, bring a good amount of infantry, and still fit in the KORR.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the thinking was like, okay, like you're gonna have to choose now. What are you gonna bring less of? And I think that was the point of the heavy point increases.
I think my cynical ass mind is I think it was just inclusion rates. Magmadroths are too popular as a percentage of all lists. Like nerfing the Rune Smiter on Magmadroth, that's just rude. He is not worth 300 points. He is not a 300 point monster. You know, it's like when Bastion was 300 points. He just wasn't worth it. So, yeah. I think it's just inclusion rates, and I think Magmadroths were seeing too much play compared to other units.
I have to believe in you because I haven't seen those lists, but
I
think that something mixed with monsters and infantry, they could do well. Because infantry was doing okay.
I'm so scared of the all infantry Fyreslayer list that might be really good, but thankfully nobody's going to play it because Magmadroths are fun, and fun is more important than winning games.
Not there. Here in Mexico, we have a lot of Fyreslayers players.
Are they all infantry, or is it Magmadroths?
We have all. We have
different kinds. I'm so glad I'm not out there then.
Yeah.
The infantry stuff
always
is
fight
terrifying.
Yeah.
But my only concern is if these changes are scaring to the elite players, because Fyreslayers is one of the armies that are being played by the most elite players. So if they are not finding the same conditions, I suppose that they will be moving to another army. It's not about the playability of Fyreslayers, it's about what conditions in the meta they are offering. So, don't know. Let's see. Hopefully no, because to be honest, it's funny playing against Fyreslayers.
So I think there's definitely players who play the army because when it's strong, right? That's certainly an appeal. I think the people that are playing Fyreslayers this season, there's been like an uptick in Fyreslayers. They've never been as popular as they are right now. They've always been one of the least popular armies, down in like the 2 to 5% of the meta, really unpopular. And it's because for most of their existence, they have been an infantry-focused army, and the Maggotkin have always played second fiddle to that. And nobody wants to play hundreds of 4-inch move models. That is a miserable experience, right? Nobody wants to do that. It's just like sadism. And now that Maggotkin are good, it's like people are finally getting the chance to play Fyreslayers because they love the aesthetic, right? They love the idea of these like berserker dwarves and a religion of like cult warriors, and they want to have these cool looking models from like they're like 10 years old now, but they're still sick looking models. They want to finally use them. So there's been a huge uptick. So I don't know how much of the army is the people like the elite players that you're talking about that are doing it because it's strong. I think it's a really good mix of people doing it because they love it, and then people doing it finally because, oh, this army's finally strong. I can finally play it, you know?
So maybe we will not be seeing the real tier for the army.
How do you mean? Sorry, just to clarify what you mean.
So we are not going to see enough of those lists. So maybe we will not be seeing them as an A tier, even when they might be.
Possible, yeah. It could be like a Tzeentch scenario where like a couple people really play it to its absolute peak, but it could get watered down by all the people just still playing Maggotkin because they're fun, right? Like it could be like a Seraphon type scenario where no matter how good or bad the army is, some people will still just bring 3 units of reinforced Agrodons because they're cool dinosaurs. People love them.
Yeah. Let's see. I think they will be between B plus and A minus.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking an A minus myself.
Yeah.
Okay, Eduardo, pick an army.
Let's go with Lumineth.
Okay. All right, good call. Where do you want to put them, and where can I argue lower? I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I don't know, top B.
Top of B. Okay. So why top of B? Because I'm sure most people would look at the win rates that are public right now and see they're doing quite well. They are over 55%. So why are you saying they're a B tier army?
I don't know. It's not real. I think that people haven't adjusted to play against them because you can just beat them by board control. You don't have many lists that are very mobile. The Downriders are dead. The Hurricanes are not doing very well. And now you are forced to play the castle, either with the Alarith or with the Vanari stuff. So they will struggle against many armies that get controlling the board, and you cannot do much about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hear me out. What if we just remove them from match play?
No, why?
No, I want my free wins. Thank you very much. Like no offense to Lumineth or Lumineth players, but like that army is just Stormcast doing Stormcast worse. It's like a worse version of exactly what we're trying to do. We just do it better.
Yep, that's right. Because they are lacking mobility. It's interesting because they have the capacity to be mobile, but those playstyle in that army it's not working right now. So I expect them to go slowly down because they don't have enough units to compete with the board control.
They're not a 4-1 army or a 5-0. They're not getting many 5-0s. Like the 5-0s we see out of them are like special character soup with, you know, Blade Lord spam. Those are like the list. And like I can see how that wins games because there's a lot of good matchups for that. If you're playing against another slow melee army and you can just do their job better, like if you're playing against orcs or Daughters of Cain or I think you lack the volume. Like a lot of destruction armies in particular are very good matchups because the -1 hit is a very good. You can win games. Like it's I like what you said that the win rate is fake. I really like that because it does feel fake. Because when people see like a 58% win rate army, what they assume is, oh, this army's overpowered and it's winning events. But in reality, what's happening with Lumineth is they're going 3-2 like all the time. Like they're winning 3 games and then they're losing 2. They'll hit the hard armies, the hard matchups, and they'll just be gate kept out of the higher results.
Sorry.
Unfortunately. Okay, so
Yeah, I think
high B. Do you think it's higher B than OBR though?
Around there, maybe between them and closer to Slaves and OBR. Yeah.
Okay. Luis, what were you saying?
I think that they will be finding problems if we are adding A-.
Well,
so
I just want it to be like, you know, I don't think this army on the B tier is as good as this army on the B tier. Like they're still B tier in the grand scheme of things. Like they're not as good as an A tier army. But it's like there's still some gradient there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just looking at our A tier right now, like, Daughters, I think, are better than Flesh Eaters. But I think Flesh Eaters are still better than every army in the B tier.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Luis, pick an army.
No, Seraphon.
Seraphon. Okay. Love it. Just before we started streaming, I started list building for Seraphon. So, where do you think they're at?
It is, I would love to say B, but I am not too convinced that they could be B.
Do you think higher, lower?
Yeah, lower, probably C.
Okay. So I would have agreed with you last week. Last week, I think they were definitely a C tier army. This week,
probably B. Yes.
I think this week they're a B plus army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might be. I'll have to see the lists, but I think that they have gone up significantly. Yes, bringing back a half unit of Kharadron launchers, it's going to be egregious.
Guaranteed. People haven't really experimented much with the Slann competitively because it was so inconsistent. But now that the Slann is in play, and it's guaranteed revival, we're about to see some really gross stuff out of them because their points are low.
Imagine that we would have Heaven Sent every turn.
Yeah. It's the same thing that happened to Kruleboyz, where Battlescroll after Battlescroll, they kept buffing the army, reducing the points. We're now at the point where... let's look up some of these point costs here. They're ridiculous. Seraphon. But we're at the point where their point costs have gotten so low, and now they just gave them a huge rule update that's going to make them much stronger, and it's just going to multiply off the point costs. Lancers, 210. Compare that to, like, Concussors, which are also 210. Kroxigors, 200 or 210. Like, we're about to see enormous levels of spam. And I'm also very excited for the Skink stuff as well, because people... Remember that SOG update that gave Skinks the ability to move 8 inches at the start of the combat phase? Everyone kind of just forgot about that, but it's incredibly strong. Because you can... Like, oh, you got charged? I'm going to redeploy in the combat phase, and I'm going to redeploy a guaranteed 8 inches. Well, it's not guaranteed. You have to roll a 3+, but it's not a D6. You know what I mean? Like I'm out of combat. You
Yeah.
can't even chase me and hit me because I moved 8 inches, and you can only move 3 and then attack 3. Like, good lord.
Yeah, at Worlds even like Seraphon, I don't think we're doing actually that horrible because they just bring so much stuff. I mean, they were using the KOROR a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But like now you kind of don't need to. Just run the salon. You get recursion.
Yep.
And just bring bodies. Just like bring bodies. You don't have to pay for a croak tax anymore.
I'm glad they had the foresight to nerf Raptidon Chargers because of what's about to happen. Because Chargers were super cheap at 130. And when you can, like, move them, they moved so much. They were basically like Javelin Paladors, but their damage output wasn't very good and they were fragile. But, like, in terms of movement, they were up there. Ripperdactyl Riders are also really good.
There's a guy in my bracket that I think had, like, 40 or something, like 40 plus of them.
That's probably why the points went up.
Yeah, it was actually insane. It was like min everything and then just as like copy and paste as many chargers as you could into a list. I don't think I've seen that many skink riders ever in my life.
Oh, we should run an experiment. We should spam, like, get to Worlds and spam, like, a weird unit that nobody's expecting and see what happens in the next update. Like, get to Worlds and spam, like, Fulminators,
Vanguard
you know?
Hunters.
Vanguard Hunters, like anything, just spam it and see what Matt Rose does.
Yeah.
Go 008 and then he's like,
Oh,
okay, that's
I'll
not good.
probably win at least 2. Like, give me some credit here.
Only with with those units.
Yeah. Okay, so the skink stuff all looks good. I don't know if it has enough rend right now, but there's a lot of stuff you can tech in because everything's so cheap in this army. Like, there's nothing saying you can't run Agrodons or Kroxigors alongside the skinks. It's not saying you have to run one or the other. And I'm also really excited about the monster stuff too, because these monsters are real cheap now. Oh boy. 220 point Bastillodon sounds really good to me. I like the idea of a Night Judicator strapped to some Annihilators that also gets to move. What is it? You get 2 from the Asterism, 2 from Beastmaster. You get to also run and shoot and charge. So that Bastillodon is hoofing it. And then also blasting you with a Night Judicator shot. Love it. It's a good value proposition for 220. So
Yeah.
Seraphon, I'm thinking B+. What do you think?
Okay. I think that yes. Yeah. You should be president. You convince me.
Okay. Any disagreement? Love to hear some dissenting opinions. We're all just agreeing too much here. This is weird.
I think I mean in my experience I got Caleb next to me too. So so I got King Lizard himself.
Oh, is he in the room? Say hi for me.
No. I mean like he's like in my meta. I mean like he's in my meta.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I very much think Seraphon's B tier. I mean even at Worlds, like before the buffs, like I think a lot of the Seraphon players are coming out of the woodwork because of how cheap their stuff was getting. So like this is just like a big buff for them. They're like, okay, cool.
It's gonna be cool, man. I gotta talk to Caleb. We'll do another Battletome review video. It'll be less than 9 hours this time. I promise.
8 hours and 50 minutes.
All right, David, pick an army.
Okay, let's see. Fuck. Yeah. Let's go with Khorne A.
Okay.
I think top 2A or 3A.
Yeah.
Assuming if we're assuming people are going to tech more into drop the thirster list and more moving into the infantry, blood warrior, bloodletter. If we're assuming that that's where the meta for them are going, I think they're easily top 3 in the A.
Even the 5 thirster list just looks strictly better than it did before, and it was already capable of winning 5-0s. So
yeah, I just like think because like that list and stuff, the thirster list has more walls than the Khorne foot list, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think people will make the right decision of teching towards infantry. I'm just gonna spread bloodthirster propaganda for my own.
I
for
think it'll
myself.
be a mix. I don't think it'll be pure Bloodbound. It'll probably still bring 1 or 2 Bloodthirsters.
Oh, I think so too. I just
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like already had 40 Bloodletters or 40 Blood Warriors from 3rd edition from when you could do the skirting. That they're like, oh well, I already have 40 Blood Warriors from 3rd edition. I could just do this again.
Mm-hmm. People are waiting.
Yeah,
They
I
were
suppose
waiting.
the people will. Yeah, people
Yeah.
will be taking at least 2 units of Bloodbounds, one of demons, not non-heroes, non-heroes demons, and also big demons. We cannot skip the benefits of each one because, especially with the Blood Trench, you will need something because you need to have resources against everything. So sometimes Bloodletters will be good because you will improve the rent, and especially with the volume that they can create. Yeah, and another ones in this case with the Bloodbounds because you can create with mortals when you need it. So I think the good mix will be the key for a good performance of the Khorne in the coming months.
Yep. They seem like they're poised to do very well. Everybody right now is relying on crit mortals, crit 2 hits, crit wounds, anti-infantry. Charge +1 damage is huge in the game. So Khorne just shows up and says no to all of that. None of this nonsense. I used to hate wizards, now I hate melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, high A.
I think also the issue is
Yeah.
like these are not Khorne isn't gonna have new units that like you know when something gets like super buffed up or super cheap and like that might not have been a popular unit forever, right? The Palador example, right? Like people didn't have Paladors or really unless they were just a collector until 4th edition happened. But people already had 40 Blood Warriors and a bunch of Bloodbound units from 3rd edition when they were really good. So this is like a quick shift for a lot of those people.
Yeah, that's true. The
Yep.
hobby meta. It's not.
Yeah, there's no hobby lag on this one. People are gonna break this out immediately.
Mhm.
All right. That was Luis's
Your
pick,
turn,
right? So I think David.
It was David's.
That was David's pick. Talk Khorne. Okay, my turn. I'm gonna say Kharadron Overlords, and I'm gonna also put them in B, but I'm gonna put them like mid to lower end of B. I really do think the nerfs have been quite significant for them. Whatever, like if they're pivoting into Arcanauts and Ironclads, like I'm way less worried about that. It's not a great time to be a KO player because you just got nerfed, but I think the army's still going to be okay. I think you're going to see a big drop off in their win rate because a lot of people are just going to abandon the army because it just got nerfed. But I think it'll stabilize around like somewhere in 49 to 51, that range. Like I think they're going to be an average type army. I don't think they're going to be bad. And everyone agreed, so we can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Yeah.
It's around Soulblight. I was gonna say so. Yeah. Seems
Okay.
fair.
Eduardo, pick an army.
Let's go with Nurgle, which I think it might be C.
Yep, I would agree with that. There's no lower C tier, but if there was, I would put them there. Yeah. If there was any other army on C tier, I would say Nurgle is worse than that army. But Nurgle is definitely better than Helsmiths and Sons of Behemat right now.
Yeah. But it's worse than all the B tier armies.
Yes. Especially with Profiteers reducing their wards. But maybe that'll be less of a concern in the new book. We'll see.
Maybe, but they struggle with the same stuff with board control.
I see Nurgle. I disagree a little bit. Nurgle could be B tier.
B?
In my opinion. B. Yeah. Because if you see the win rate right now, they are 49. They are quite near to 50. And it is not because they are performing bad. They are performing good. The problem is the other armies has been doing really good previously to Nurgle, but Nurgle has been rising little by little. In the previous 2 months, they increased the win rate. They were at the bottom at the beginning of the season, and right now, in the last month, they performed really good. They have been in the top 10 in the important GTs. So I will give a little bit of trust on them, and in my opinion, they could be B. They have a lot of good mechanics. They can turn off wards. They are very resilient army. They are fast, and they can provide also a lot of damage every single turn. So, in my opinion, they will be ranked at B. This is my opinion. I don't know.
I think that they would lose against Idoneth. They would lose against OBR. Sorry,
Idoneth maybe. They
Soulblight.
might be okay. Like, Idoneth's not a super high damage army.
Yeah, but they don't have the damage to take them out either.
They are very slow. Yeah.
So they will end up losing
I don't know.
by board control.
They're also
And
getting a
so-
new book in
The
like
last-
a month.
Yeah,
So,
like,
like-
it's not worth talking
Yeah.
that much about Nurgle because they are
That's
just
right.
getting rewritten very soon. So, for interest, they have one 5-0 result in the past 3 months in this battle, the previous Battlescroll, and it did use the Cursed Steel Battery. So, that list has been nerfed by 40 points. So,
Yeah.
however, actually, it was at 1950, so it has the 40 points needed to eat that nerf. So, how about that?
But it will lose the CP.
Yeah, true. So they don't have great results right now, like a low B, high C kind of thing. They're not in a great state, but okay. New book, so we can just move on. David, pick an army.
Slaanesh, I think, is still A tier, like
Oh,
mid
yeah.
A.
Mid A,
think
not
it
high
goes
A. Okay.
Higher,
Interesting.
higher than.
I think the Glutos nerf is I think the Glutos obscuring nerf is actually big because you can't be as aggressive with him and just skirt him around obscuring anymore.
It's a fair
You
point.
kind of actually have to go back to protecting him.
It certainly makes the Stormcast matchup a lot easier.
So I think if like think about every other army that could shoot, like Helsmiths, Skaven, like all these other armies that have shooting could shoot him now. So you actually kind of have to play him a little bit easier. You can't just like park and move him through obscuring and places of power and stuff to hide,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they would do. You would just move him around the board, like pretty much protected, without actually having to use your own units to protect him.
Right. Okay. I could see that.
I think they got off really easy, but that's why I still think they're A tier. But I think the Glutos nerf is a big deal.
Yeah, because like Glutos being obscured didn't win so many games for them. Like they're doing very well right now, and it's not just because of Glutos getting obscured. Like that helps in certain matchups, but it's not. In most matchups, it doesn't matter at all. Most of this game is still melee.
Yeah, but the matches against the shooting armies were very oppressive because he was
Yes.
occupying a lot of board stuff, so it was very oppressive. You could not take him out.
Yeah, okay. I think A tier is right. Okay, my turn. I want to talk about Skaven. I think they're A tier as well, and I think they're better than Daughters.
Yes.
I think Skaven are
I like
very good. They keep getting better.
And they dodged the nerfs.
They should have gotten a Dodge Nerf award, perhaps. Yeah, that's certainly an argument for that. They are.
I think their shooting guns got cheaper too. Right, Sword Fiends went down, and the Rattling guns I think went down.
Well, here's a question: how bad is it that their bell can be shot now in the Plague Furnace?
I think that's pretty bad, but I don't know. I think they're still really good because now you could do like 60 Storm Vermin lists.
Yeah,
They have a lot of things to skew to.
it's always hard to predict what Skaven are going to do in terms of list
Yep.
building. There's so many options always. It's like Stormcast. You never no two Stormcast lists are the same. They're always rocking up with even two players with the same list could play it totally different.
Yeah, and it's an army that even when you are like winning because you have like wiped a lot of their units, they keep coming back and they keep coming back and they come outside of any place on the board. So they have a lot of tools, which I think that they're gonna be important against the matches.
Yeah, I think they're like if they're not top 5, they'll be like number 6 or something. You know, like they're just on the outside of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Are they better or worse than Daughters?
Probably about the same.
Better, or I think a little bit better.
No. Well, I feel like Daughters are still bringing the same list. They really didn't get hit. Like the Krone got hit, but the only really change they got was I could shoot cauldrons, which matters. It's a big deal. It does matter. But the core list of 80 witches running towards you is still there.
I think snakes are going to be good too. But yeah, I think Skaven I think are better than Daughters. A minor detail, but let's move on. So that was my pick. Eduardo, pick an army.
Nighthaunt.
Okay, so they were arguably S tier before this change, and where have they fallen? Because they were nerfed significantly.
I think that they're going into B tier.
Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna bring less stuff. People will get used to playing against them.
They're
And,
a really boring army to play against. They always do the one thing.
So B, maybe I think they will be doing worse than
Seraphon?
Khorne, worse than slaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So above Kharadron, below slaves. Something like that. Okay.
Close to Kharadron, yeah. What do you guys think?
That little spot where Soulblight and stuff is, that seems about right.
I don't know what they pivot into. Maybe it's still just more Pyregeist spam. Like, they're still the most efficient unit, right? They're only 170. Everything else is still 210. They're still just efficient, so why not keep spamming them?
They can pivot into the Blade Geists as well and just hope that you don't charge them.
God, I hate that mechanic.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
They still could bring bodies is the point. It's still a 4+ casino game.
Yeah. They don't have to worry about anything. Just put your models there, get the Cruel Geist behind, and just get the terrain piece there so you can bring back stuff, and let's hope that they don't kill you enough.
It's such a boring army.
They combo really well with the terrain piece. They combo, yeah.
Even Nurgle is more fun to play with and against, and Nurgle's basically like slower than Nighthaunt. Like, they're just slow Nighthaunt, but they're more fun to play and against. Nighthaunt's boring.
Yeah, horrible.
John in the chat says, Disciples of Tzeentch shot up a bunch in my areas solely because of 2 players. Turned out they kept winning because of the weighted dice. Very Tzeentch of them. Ooh. Yikes. Hate to see that. Very flavorful, though. It's like if a Skaven player tunneled into the building, you know, like, I'd be like, okay, yeah, hell yeah. All right, Luis, pick an army. There's only like 7 left.
Sylvaneth.
Sylvaneth. A tier, okay.
Yeah, probably at the bottom of A. Could be good.
Well, they were starting to do well, and they got improved, and now they can shoot a lot of stuff they couldn't shoot before that was giving them trouble.
They dodged the nerfs as well, right?
I wouldn't call them that.
No, they didn't. No, they received a reduction of points in their battle trades, or no, in the enhancements.
Yeah, they picked up a lot.
It's improving. Yeah, I think they will be doing good. I can bet that we will see more Gurnuts in the table in coming months.
How are they going to fare with no crit mortals against Khorne, though? That could be a really rough matchup for them.
And I don't know if they can beat Seraphon.
Oh, they can beat Seraphon, for sure. It's not like a hard matchup by any means. It's not easy, but it's not hard.
Yeah, Against Khorne, you need to play well the strike first, strike last. So if your army counts with these mechanics, you could have good results against Khorne. Khorne unfortunately doesn't have how to counter these mechanics, just basing the skill of the player. So that's a lot.
Okay, yeah, I can see the strike first, strike last mattering a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if Drycha denying or making difficult the charges could be a good tool to play against.
I would be quite concerned about the cities matchup. I think Sylvaneth are going to have a rough time into all that 3+ save 5 up board. Does Sylvaneth have any ward hate? Can they turn off wards or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Revenant and Drycha.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the Revenant. Yes.
Yeah, because they're going to give themselves strike last, so like the strike last doesn't matter.
Yeah, even in their, because he's rolling one dice just with that 3-up, 2-up, I can't recall, and it's you are strike first in their opponent combat phase. So, and also if you are charging with the Seekers with a 3-up, you have the strike first. Yeah, good mechanics. Yeah, but it's to me between B plus and A minus.
How do you think you'd compare them to Flesh Eater Courts? I think that's like the guiding post. Compare, like, is it better or worse than Flesh Eaters? Or about the same?
Yeah, no, because Flesh Eaters brings bodies, and Sylvaneth is totally the opposite. It's an elite army. So what is struggling with Sylvaneth against too much bodies.
Okay, I could see like a low A, high B kind of situation. Yeah. Any disagreement? Any big opinions on Sylvaneth? No. Okay.
No, I mean, I feel like they're like higher B, like high B, mid B. Yep. Like they have that really good monster mash list. I think that's why I see played a lot. They're just a lot like a lot of times that list just doubles you, it just wins.
As a Stormcast player, they don't feel like a threat to me when I'm playing Stormcast because we do mobility, teleport, shooting better. Like we can just pick off key pieces whenever we need to. So that's why I always say like I don't understand them, because from my perspective, the matchup feels not like one-sided, but it's like I know exactly what they're going to do and I just do it better. So like that's why it's confusing to me. Yep. It's kind of like when I play Lumineth. It's like I see what Lumineth are doing and I see Stormcast do it better, and I'm like, I don't like how's this army 58%, you know?
Yeah, but they have had good results the last month.
They have. They've been creeping up there. Yeah, it's piqued my interest for sure. Okay.
Yeah, and also different kind of list. Sorry.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of variety. People are experimenting. We'll see what they come up with. David, pick an army. Almost done here.
I think Gitz are still high B, low A, even after the Wheelers nerf.
Okay.
They can still bring a ton of stuff. I think so. My argument is, okay, if you went out and bought 4 Wheelers and then you're pissed that that got nerfed in 3 months, that's your fault, and I don't feel bad for you.
If you didn't see that coming, you are wearing blinders.
Yeah, like that's your fault, and I don't feel bad for you. But on the other side of that, like the bounders and stuff only took a really small nerf. Like that army is still bringing 200+ wounds that could recur. You just are going to do it a lot less with the Wheelers, and the Wheelers helped because they were kind of the pivot point where with their movement shenanigans to help the bounders get delivered to combat.
Yeah.
But for me, Gitz has always been a like real damage check army, because if you don't slice Gitz right, the Gitz player just runs you over. Especially a good Gitz player will just run you over with their list.
That sounds like a B tier army.
Yeah. So I think they're still high B because, like, in reality of that army, like, Bounders go up 10, like, okay, a Reinforce goes up 20, like, okay, right? Like,
No, it does matter
sure.
because people were bringing like 5 or 6 units. They were spamming them, so that's
Yeah. So I think, but I
significant.
think like they just lose like a trash unit, right? Like 100 to 200 point unit. I think that's pretty much it. Like you literally can bring, you drop the Wheelas, right, or drop 2 Wheelas, and like that's it. So I still think they bring a ton. I just think they're more manageable now. The army just is probably going to feel way more manageable to fight now.
So I have a take, and I think you guys are going to disagree with it, and that's fine. I think Gitz are not very good. I think everything they do has an answer for, and now that they don't have that like midfield blocker anymore, they're going to really struggle to put bodies where they need to before they get wiped out. Like they can't really take hits very well, and once they're like their revive ability is probably the worst revive in the game because it happens at the end of the turn and it costs command points. So they have to save command points. So if they're struggling into like if they want to rally, if they want a magical intervention, if they want to run 6, if they want to all out defense in 1 or 2 phases, if they want to all out attack because they're destruction and they hit on 4s because lol destruction, their CP just drains very quickly, and the units that come back to life are not useful for at least 1 turn. And depending on how aggressively your opponent is pushing into your territory, sometimes they're not useful for 2 turns, which is just awful recursion. And before the Battlescroll changed their Sunsteel Awilas, I felt they were like a C tier army. I think now they're strictly weaker than they used to be in every way. Like all their points went up, and now the Wheelas are straight up worse. So Gitz, my opinion, they're worse than they were before, and I didn't have a very high opinion of them before. So I would call them a C tier army, but I think you guys are going to disagree.
Yeah,
I can see your point. I just think they're B. It just always feel like B to me. Maybe I just have good Gitz players in my meta. they always just feel B.
So the thing is, with the list that with the list that I play against, it was sending the Drogots forward so they can take the hits because they are very durable, and then delivering with the hoppers. So and they can deal like 10 mortal wounds or something when they charge. So it's not a bad list, and still then they are 40 wounds on that unit. So you cannot just wipe them out so easily. Yes, they are on a 6-up save, but it is not that easy to focus everything into that. And they had 60 of those, so it was like 200 wounds or something like that. So it's I don't think that they are bad, and they have good mobility. So I will leave them in B.
If I'm outvoted, so be it. We can keep them in B tier for you guys. Just wanted to get my take out there. I never get bounced on by the hoppers, right? Like the only unit I'm worried about in our army are if they have like tons of trogs, I can't kill them fast enough. Like with shooting and combat, I'll still have to take a charge and trade a hammer for a hammer. But like if they only have like 1 or 2 units of trogs, it's not that big a deal. Same with bounders. If there's only 1 or 2 units of bounders, I can usually just take them out before they get to me. And then if there's 1 or 2 units of hoppers, it's not a big deal. The issue I come into is when it's like they spam that one thing. When it's a list that brings like 4 units of trogs, 4 units of reinforced squig hoppers, or 4 units of bounders, that's when it starts to get troublesome, because that's when those units actually connect. And that's what the chariots gave them, is it gave them that setup turn that they desperately needed. So I don't know if the chariots will do that anymore. Like, there's still a huge body, and it just... I don't think it does it anymore, right? Because what made it so good is that it stopped the opponent from charging you for a turn, giving you a setup turn for free. And now that setup turn costs you 260 points. And I don't know if those lists can afford that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, but we'll leave it in B tier, because I'm being outvoted here. Curse you, democracy. You failed me again. So that was David's pick, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Kruleboyz. I don't think they're as bad as people are saying. People are really dooming on them. Worst case scenario, I think Kruleboyz are like a C tier army. But I think they're better than that. I actually do think they're like mid to high B.
I think they are better than Idoneth.
I think they're better than slaves. I think people are really dooming on them hard. I think they still do a lot of things really well, and the movement trickery, like there's still a lot of gas there. Maybe it's just like Kruleboyz with Kragnos and the ROR. Like that's still a list, right? It's like you don't have to play the new soggy stuff that they added, because at the end of the indexes we were seeing these kinds of lists pop up. I think what's happening is everyone hard shifted over to the new gut rippa spam thing. Not gut rippas, but like melee infantry spam, right? With all the monster kills and everything. And then that got nerfed, so people were just like, oh, I'll just forget how to play Kruleboyz all of a sudden. But I think good Kruleboy players are still making it work. I really do. The stats don't bear this out at all, so I'm going to look like an idiot in 3 months when we come back and it turns out Kruleboyz are at like a 42% win rate or whatever. But I do think they're better than the win rate suggests. I think they're like a mid to high B tier army.
We can look full together because Lumineth will go up and Kruleboyz will go down. And you put them together.
I think Kruleboyz also got figured out, right? Like they got nerfed and then they also got figured out. So it feels like that weird B. Like I was talking to some of the guys at Worlds about Kruleboyz, and everyone was like, I think Kruleboyz kind of got figured out now.
Yeah, well, there was definitely an element of it that was like surprise factor, which is weird because they were even stronger in the indexes than before their battle tome, and people were like straight up complaining about that army, and it got nerfed, and then people still had to figure it out, which is like, I don't know. It can't be an overpowered army and then get nerfed and then people have to figure it out from there. You know what I mean? Like, they should have figured it out right away. So, I don't know how much that argument carries water. I think good players have always known how to counter Kruleboyz. Just like good players have always known how to play against, like, some of the teleporting stuff that Stormcast do, right? Like, it's just a skill you learn along the way.
The other stuff that I see is that they didn't nerf the monster killers.
No, they didn't. They're very good.
So maybe people will just keep on spamming then.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you drop the gut rippas. You just go monster killers.
Yeah.
We'll see. Any disagreement with putting them on B tier? Does anyone think they're worse? Like David, you said people figured them out. Do you think they're like a C tier army now? Or D?
No, I still think they bring up bad bodies and they're good at what they do. I think it's just no longer a like, oops, I don't know what to do against this army, if that makes sense. Because like before they got their Uber buff, like 2 scrolls ago, after the soggy rules and everything, I think every time you played against a Kruleboyz list, it was kind of just like a joke list. But then they got super buffed, and you're like, okay, what does this army actually do? And nobody knew. But like now, people know how to play it to Kruleboyz.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff about striking first and striking last, which hurts them.
Yeah,
because that was like the very neat trick that they had. That if you are gonna charge them, they are gonna strike first, and they're gonna wipe you with mortals. So, but now there's a lot of stuff about giving them strike last or giving you strike first.
Can Khorne avoid the strike last trap in any way?
No.
So like, how do they deal with all those crit mortals?
The problem is who is being triggered the strike last. If he's using a spell, they can skip it. But if there is an ability, direct ability, they can't.
Yeah. So I think into some of the best armies, they're going to have decent matchups. Not great, but decent. I think their problem is getting through, like, Seraphon. I don't think they're going to have the damage output needed to kill Seraphon, or, like, Gitz, or threat ranges of Kharadron are still a concern. The strike last mechanics on Fyreslayers, like, that's kind of like a weird showdown, like whoever charges first loses. And Stormcast are a bad matchup as well. So I think maybe like a mid-low B might be more appropriate. How do they do into cities? Crit mortals just kind of bounce off the 5-up board, 30 health blocks. I don't think they do enough crit mortals.
No, right now the problem is, well, the problem was the lack of mortals, because there were only 1 or 2 units that were performing mortals, the leathers and also the blood the school Reapers. Beyond that, there was a lack of models. Right now, with the return of the Blunt Ridge, I suppose that they would be doing something good, but depends on the skill expression of the player just to screening quite good and then counter charging properly. This is the only way that I
yeah,
have in
Khorne.
mind.
Yeah, you're right. Counter charging is going to be the way to go. No, but even then, you still just strike last, right? Because the Kruleboyz can do that trick in any combat phase.
Yeah,
It's rough.
yeah, it's rough.
Okay, let's leave them there, and we'll see what happens with them. That was my pick. Eduardo, you're up. Last one for you.
So let's go with Ironjawz.
Okay, where do you think they land?
Interesting. They have been doing okay, and they dodged the nerfs of it. They got like 10 points in the Makrusha just to avoid people from bringing 6, but besides that, I don't think that the lists changed that much. I think they're gonna do fine. I think they're gonna be around Seraphon and OBR.
Okay.
So B+, A- around Sylvaneth. They could do okay. They will struggle with some matches, but
The viability of Ironjawz, I think, just depends on how many -1 hit armies are in the meta.
yeah, exactly.
That's really the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And, well, Lumineth are lower. Kharadron are lower. What else has a lot of -1 hit?
Idoneth.
Idoneth, yeah, so these are all lower tier armies. So Ironjawz, their matchups they don't get that impacted by all the A and S tier armies we've shown so far. So maybe they could have reasonably good matchups into them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like a sap block army, right? It's still like you can still bring like 80 boys, and you have to deal with it.
I think it's the Maggotkin's was really like they were so cheap, and they corrected that mistake by raising the points on all them, and you can no longer run 5 cabbages in a list. So thankfully they fixed that too. It was starting to get quite silly.
Yeah, but the regular lists were not using that. They stayed like mostly the same. So 30 or 40 points more.
Ironjawz don't feel great, but they don't feel bad either. They feel like, I would say mid B, maybe low B, but not high
everything.
B. Yeah.
Mid of everything.
Yeah, they're mid, and not in a bad way. Mid is good in AOS. You want to be mid.
Yeah.
Okay. Luis, last pick. There's 3 armies left.
Ogres.
All right, where do you think Ogres should start?
B-tier.
B-tier. Okay.
B-tier, probably behind of Seraphon.
Behind Seraphon. Okay. Now, is this because where did you think they were before the Battlescroll? Because they got a lot of buffs. We didn't really talk about them much yet, but they got a lot of point reductions.
Yeah, they had a lot, and also they have a good output of damage. They can include probably 1 screen more, and they have good mechanics. They are one of the armies that can defeat 2 selected armies in the melee. So they have everything to perform well. But the only problem is in the same way that Khorne, they have a lack of strike first. They depends on the skill expression to avoid this. And also they can turn off wards, but they have a lack of good shooting in some cases. So, well, this is my feeling. They hit hard. They had a good movement, and they can race to the opponent in 1 or 2 rounds if the opponent is not aware.
Ogres for me always feel like is the person in front of me Carson once. No, okay, I got a good chance.
Yeah, there's one really good ogre player in my area that I respect a lot, and I have to say Stormcast feels like an oppressively good matchup against him. Like they're just lacking the tools. They're just an average army, and average doesn't cut it in this game. If it was me ranking this, I would put them in C tier. They don't have the recursion to keep up with armies like Seraphon. They really struggle into -1 hit effects. They struggle into anything that turns off charge +1 damage, or sometimes even crit hits. Like they'll get the Thunder Tusk a rampage off and get crit hits. So they struggle against that. They definitely bounce off higher saves. Like they cap out at Ren 2. So if they charge into something like Stormcast or Slaves or Cities, they can just bounce off. Once they're in combat, like if they're not charging, if they get charged first, oh, this is a huge issue. They're not fast enough. They're a 10-inch move, right? So like if they get charged first, which most armies in the game can do that, they just do no damage. So you have to like carefully position. You need waves of chargers, and you just don't have like the teleports or reinforcements to sustain that. So I feel like
all the army can run on charge.
Well, the Gutbusters can. Like they have density. It's still just slow. Like I'm not impressed by ogres anytime I face them. It always feels like mid, but in a bad way. You know, like we said, mid was good, but like this is the bad version of mid for me.
But why did you say that they don't get damage if they don't charge? Because they hit the same.
Well, like Beast Claw, right? I'm talking Beast Claw here.
Beast Claw.
Gutbusters are you know, they're not fast enough to outspeed the other armies. They usually get hit first, and people bring enough damage to kill Gutbusters, I feel like. Right, because we're going to need the damage to kill stuff like reinforced Cavalier blocks, and that whatever kills a reinforced Cavalier block will definitely kill reinforced Gluttons.
It's also they don't come with the ward on their monsters anymore. So if you just kill their monsters before they get the ward buff off, it's pretty much over if you kill enough.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Where do you guys think? I think it's C tier personally.
I think it's B-.
Okay, David.
I don't think they go back into C.
Yeah,
they bring enough stuff, and they can slap pretty hard. So they are gonna have some matches in which they are gonna run forward and slap everybody, fight twice. It's like a Chosen matchup. So
Chosen do
it
so much
go
better.
Back down? Because I remember they went up, and that was the big deal.
Yeah, I'm looking for that, but I can't.
They did, yeah. They're 220.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, maybe low B with the glutton buff.
Yeah.
Okay, I can accept that.
Yeah, probably.
I do think it's an army that could run through things. I just think a lot of the top armies are really good at handling it if you're fast, because a lot of top armies are faster now. So I think that's why they're low B. I think they can compete with all the B tier armies and below, but I think once they start hitting those A tier armies, it becomes hard. You have to channel your inner Carson once.
Yeah,
they will cry against Fyreslayers.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to deal with Fyreslayers.
The last time that I played with Carson, well, the first time that I played with Carson, he made it really good.
Okay.
Carson is a good player.
David, do you want to talk about Tzeentch or Stormcast?
I think we could group talk about Stormcast. Tzeentch is pretty easy. I think Tzeentch is A. They really didn't get. They just got like, hey, behave, nothing else. I still think they're A. I still think they're A tier army.
I think mid A like Slaanesh.
Yeah, I don't think they move at all. Really, I think it's still going to be Zangors, chickens, and you're still going to have to deal with it.
Their matchup stayed the same, more or less.
I think that they will struggle against high armor saves.
Zangors are only Ren 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
they need a spell to get to reduce saves, and you can just stay out of range of that if you're Stormcast anyway, but other armies maybe not so much. But I guess Sinestra can like pull Cavaliers back before you have a chance. Khorne.
It always feels A. They always feel A right now.
Yeah. Their results are really surprising
I just don't think
me.
they moved.
Every time I look at their stats, I'm like, wow, really? Okay, cool. Like they're doing better than I thought. Always. Okay, Stormcast then. And it's my turn. So, bam! Okay. Straight to the moon, baby. We're S tier. We're overpowered. Let's go.
Good night, everybody.
No, we're not S. I think we're A. I think we're better than Daughter. I think we're better than Skaven. I think we're top 3. I think the top 3 armies are Cities, Khorne, Stormcast. Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, because everybody that was struggled got nerfed.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it. Well. We're Luigi on the ball in Mario Party. You know, everyone's falling off the cliff and we're staying perfectly still. We're doing exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
I think that's easy. Yeah, I think we're A.
And it feels good as well. Like we're not too strong. It always feels like a fair matchup. Feels like we have to. When I win a game, it's because I outplayed my opponent. It's not because my army is stupid or does ridiculous things. Like I positioned well, I planned ahead, I did all these things, I countered what my opponent is doing. It always feels like a skill-based victory.
Yep.
Especially when I play a 5-drop list and I like eat a double turn from my opponent and I still come up, you know, just it's still an easy game. Not easy, but like I still won handily, right? There was no. Oh, it's getting late in the night. I'm rambling. Yeah, Stormcast are A tier. I think we're top 5. Do you guys agree with this top 5, by the way? Cities, Khorne, Stormcast, Skaven, Daughters. Does that look about right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's about right.
Yeah.
Tzeentch is such a sleeper. Stuff like Tzeentch is such a sleeper. It's like, how skilled are you? Are you Matt Beasley or not, right? But I still think overall the army's an A tier. I think somebody who plays Tzeentch that knows how to play Tzeentch is consistently a 4-1 player.
Mm-hmm. Well,
okay, guys, I need to drop up.
Yep, take care. I'm just gonna wrap up here. Okay. So there's one army that might be overpowered, and there's 2 armies that are underpowered. 3 if you want to count C tier. I think C tier is still viable. But look at this huge chunk in the middle with A and B tier armies. That's awesome. Obviously, we're not the arbiters of balance or anything, but this is a very well balanced game. We're at the same point we were at like 2 years ago in 3rd edition, when they started finally balancing the game and getting everything into that nice 45 to 55 range, and I feel like we're there again. The game feels good. You can take any army and you can succeed with it except Helsmiths. Don't play Helsmiths competitively.
I still think Helsmiths are low C, but that's I still think their points are cheap.
No.
I still think they can bring a ton of crap.
They're not very good. They're just not. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That's taking a look at the poll before we sign off here. Most people agree Khorne is A tier above average, but there is a good chunk of people who think S tier. They're going to be too strong. I hope not. I really hope not, because the way Khorne is strong is very difficult to play against. It starts warping lists. You can't use charge +1 damage anymore. You can't rely on shooting because they're -1 hit. It is rough. So hopefully they're not overpowered. Hopefully they're just good. And that's it. Any final thoughts, guys?
I'm excited to play. I think a lot of the trouble things got done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around this late in the night. Like the video, do all the crap with the algorithm, and we'll see you in the next one. We're going to have some cool stuff planned for the new year on the Discord server. We're going to be doing painting challenges rather than contests. They're going to be challenges, which means no prizes, but it'll be fun either way. And I'm working on a video for Bastion, so stay tuned for that. And if you stuck around all the way to the end of the video, thank you very much, and have a great night. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye. See y'all.